figure out a way to get her, either figure out something for her to do during this session, or figure a way for her to get down, and there really just wasn't a simple solution. So, if she shows up today, she's just gonna be with you guys. She has been traveling with you the whole time.
That's...
Wish I could come up with a more clever solution to it all, but I just can't.
No, specifically not after we're like going beneath the sea. Really.
I mean, the thing is, you guys are going to be down here for like long enough that I can't really justify keeping the party split that long. It's just inconvenient for everyone.
Now see, she wasn't with us until we got to Orna, and then we spent such a long time in the town that she actually caught up to us. And she didn't actually use the fear service, and we just took like 3 days in the subway.
Maybe she was just way better at subway navigation than you guys were.
Yeah.
Well, does she actually know Gnomish?
I highly doubt it. I think I specifically went with this because I knew that none of you guys knew Gnomish. But I was aware that Velmir had the ability to comprehend languages for a short period of time.
Yep.
And that's why I set up the really fun overload of information with the station names.
I'll be back in a minute. I'm just gonna go.
That was a great idea.
I'm gonna go toss something in the microwave.
Yep. Have fun. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. It sounded like you guys really did enjoy last session. I really enjoyed putting it in. This session's actually going to be a lot more open. I'm curious to see how you guys handle it.
You get a Q or Bob first?
You see, my favorite of the stop names was Boney Talk Skate Park. But I came up with a lot of ones. Some of them are from actual subway systems. Like
it's not a skate park as we know it. It's underwater. It's an aquarium, and there's a skate school in the area that you can see through glass windows. Something like that.
There's also AXI Airport for Orna Cross International Airport.
We should pay Bob a visit.
Rockaway Boulevard is just a stop on the New York City Metro. Friendship Heights is just a stop on the DC Metro.
And again, the Eastern Market is in the west.
Oh yeah, no, I had a lot of fun making this intentionally as confusing as possible. Like, why is there only a single street that's numbered? 116th Street.
3 stations with the same name, all of them which could be confused for the one we were looking for.
And why does one station just not have a name? So many questions.
Dirt.
What are they that goddamn maroon? No, no.
Just dirt.
So you actually never asked about the names of any of the lines, but the names of the lines were all different gems, except for the brown line, which is the dirt line. So that was actually intentionally to confuse you. So if you end up asking for directions and getting lost or something, people could say, yeah, just get back on the dirt. I had a lot of potential slip-ups that you guys didn't fall for.
More like we didn't actually look for them, like we didn't even try.
Well, the thing is that you guys immediately hopped on the subway without figuring out where you were trying to go first. It was like, oh, let's just go to the center. I was expecting you guys to try to hunt down where you were supposed to go overall before actually hopping on the train, which would have made splitting up the party a lot more intense.
Yeah.
I mean, we were going to do that, but that's why we actually went to the middle, because that's where we had the highest chance of actually, you know, finding where we would need to go, since that's like the biggest intersection of all the routes.
That's true. That's true, and that was actually a smart call. It ended up working out for you. Another fun thing, the station, the Tethys Balasor Memorial, That's actually a war memorial to an elf on the surface who died a very stupid death, and the gnomes will never let the elves live it down.
A very worthy cause.
That
I
is.
came with little bits of history for some of these. Bob does not have any history, though. I promise you that.
Well, that's good to know that that's working. Oh, one of my bots is just posted in my Discord, which no one is in, that I went live.
That sounds like a nice thing to be testing.
Yeah. Hey, raocow.
We all good?
We good.
All right.
The metro on the map, I see.
Yeah, that's just because I haven't changed it last time.
Well, most of us are good. Not quite sure about Velmir.
I'm the best.
See,
That'll
he's
be
fine.
good.
All right, who can tell me what happened last time?
We got lost in the subway.
Well, first we arrived at the town just south of the center, and apparently there is a forest between that town and Orna, which is quite tricky to navigate. But there is a venture run by a bunch of fierce, which let you cross in basically a bunch of hours. So we got diamonds to pay them, got through, went to Warner, navigated that damn subway system, got a bit lost, but other than that, not much of an issue.
We did get a glimpse of Mr. Pirate Wizard.
Yeah,
No.
I was going to say, we found him at the market square, navigated around him, found the magic shop that Ferris runs without much incident until we actually entered it, at which point he got very hectic, nervous, and, you know, wandered us. You know.
Because we brought the.
Here's the dead body of one of your friends. Very tactful.
And your neck.
Well, I explained him the situation, then he urged us to follow him to what I'm assuming is his emergency escape route.
Yeah, so he had loaded you up into his capsule and pressed a few buttons, and you guys launched off into the underground reservoirs.
And on the long trip underwater, we gained a level.
You did. You did.
I'm
Today-
wondering if this is just something that the Ferris has, or if it's just a general thing for the gnomes in case there's an emergency, like, you know.
Well, you can certainly ask him. I'm gonna say that the capsule's actually just pulling up to the city now. It doesn't look super big. It's got a few big buildings in it.
Is the city underwater?
It is. It's got
Like-
a big dome over it,
Okay.
made out of a clear material.
What's the building look like?
So it's a good thing you asked, because let's pull up some handy-dandy art.
Well, that's a
So
pretty
that
good
dome
answer.
is roughly what the city looks like, although it's a lot smaller and has a lot fewer buildings, but that's kind of the aesthetic that we're going for.
Okay.
Were you intending to show us a picture of, like, the mechs down at the bottom left?
Yes, so the mech in the bottom left is actually Doc, but you notice that when the capsule pulls up into the hangar, there are two more robots that look exactly like him, waiting outside. And that picture at the bottom, the mech isn't actually relevant, but the picture of the gnome is, because that's what Farens looks like.
Yeah.
And this on the right is a full map of the underwater city.
So I'm guessing there's like a second dome right next to it with the coral garden in it.
No, actually that's completely outside. And there seems to be a walking path out there. But he ushers you all quickly inside.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me.
Okay, we'll follow you. Haven't heard of this city before. What's its name?
There's a reason. I made it myself. I've called it Maridia, but that's just me. We're heading over to the tavern over there, and he leads you all hurriedly across the park in the center. The two golems that were kind of standing guard at the hangar stay put, and he walks up to the tavern and he opens up the door, and this is a nice looking tavern. It's completely empty. There's nobody else here. This is a very, very like opulent looking tavern, and he gestures at the bar, and there's a bunch of seats there, and he goes behind the bar himself and begins pouring some drinks. Says, "I believe we have a lot to discuss."
Yeah. That's
Now, I will. How about this? We will go back and forth with questions, because I imagine we both have several. My first question to you all: who is the person that is following you? What can you tell me about this person who's trying to collect these artifacts?
Oh, that person.
Wizard?
Oh yeah, I was going to ask which one you were talking about.
I'm talking about the one that you referenced before I brought you down here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know much about him other than that he's a necromancer, judging by his spell book, which we looted from his hotel room, and that it seems to be trying to harness these artifacts for, unlimited power, whatever these wizards are up to.
Yeah, Velmer, would you mind just giving this man just a quick look through at his book? Maybe he would know anything about him.
Okay, so you hand over the spell book, and he opens it up and flips through. Just like,
It's got his name written in it.
This is intense. Oh, that's right, it does have the name written on it. He flips through the spells for a while, and this is clearly a strong necromancer, and then he flips around and he sees the name in the front, and he's like, "You boys don't pay much attention to current events, do you?"
I'm afraid not.
Oh boy, okay, oh boy. And he closes the spellbook and puts it back on the counter. And says, "Okay, so about 15 years ago, I believe, might have been a bit longer, there was a big assault on the western city of Hall. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. It's a dwarven name. Anyways, great western city of Hog out in the desert. It was being attacked by a massive horde of undead. And it was led by this necromancer in his ghost ship flying above. I believe that you are dealing with the same person. He was stopped, ultimately, before the city was completely destroyed. In fact, it's mostly recovered at this point. But that's an important piece of history. I'm surprised that none of you managed to remember that. But anyways...
I'm surprised that you didn't use the Flying Dutchman as his picture. You know, from SpongeBob. That Flying Dutchman. Because...
Well, look, boys, this is... We're dealing with a very powerful monster here, and... if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm not entirely sure what to do about this. But we will worry about that later. Ask a question. I will answer.
How long did it take to build this place?
Really, that's your...
My question...
It'd be probably about 30 years? I worked very hard on this. You know how many conjuration spells it takes to put together a city like this?
Probably a lot.
Yes. A lot is a sufficient description of how much magic it is. Alright, another question from me. Why did Bakerton wake up? Does this pirate necromancer steal his necklace?
Yes,
And we kinda annoyed him apparently when we raided his lair. Well, not so much raided, but tried to save some damsel that he had in his custody, let's say.
He thought she had taken his amulet, when it got turned out, found out that A, she had, and B, she had no idea what I was talking about, he just let her go.
Bickerton is a genius, but he's also a complete dolt. Alright. Ask me another question.
To be fair, he was just recently reawoken as an undead, so I can understand he was a bit.
So
I suppose
next
you got
question.
me there. I have not been resurrected before, so I'll leave that knowledge to people of more experience than myself.
Next question. Can you fix Doc? Because that's kind of why I never wanted to bring him here.
Absolutely. I'm very upset to see that he's deactivated, because that brings me to my next question. Did he just take a lot of structural damage? Doesn't look like it. I'm guessing this means that Sonitri's passed.
We found it this way, basically.
Like
no.
the wizard headed for where Sonitri has been living apparently, and we can make a good guess as to what happened.
A necromancer of this strength, I'm not surprised, was able to down Sonitri. I will truly miss her. That's heartbreaking. I didn't talk with her enough, really. I should have sent more letters. Anyways, yes, I can bring Doc back. I need to link him to somebody else's life force, though. The reason I didn't do it to my own at the time was I hadn't quite gotten myself, well, for lack of a better term, immortal at that point. I hadn't secured my longevity. However, I could link it to myself now if you'd like. If one of you is immortal and willing, I suppose that I could also link his life with yours as well.
Now, out of character, Teraunce Relgil is the only character who doesn't get some sort of assistant character unit, whatever, like Velma's sword or pineapple.
As far as apps go, my character's
Very short-lived, yeah. So
actually, kobolds live about as long as humans.
Which is short-lived in the great
yeah
deal of things.
Hilariously, if the 3.5 feet dragon rot still existed, those kobolds actually live. A dragon rot kobold lives for, I think after venerable you add like D100s or something like that, like a 1d6 times 100 or something.
Sounds balanced. I love it.
I mean, long age. How often does that ever come up in actual gameplay?
Not terribly often. All right.
Yeah.
So basically, he's offering to resurrect Doc with a connection to one of your lives instead of his own, if you're so inclined.
I'm gonna say, okay, again, he's your friend. If you and you're immortal, if you think you can, stay alive with him, link it to your own.
Well, that's how I see things as well, but admittedly, I don't know you all terribly well, and I just wanted to put out a little test to see if there was a better option that you were all aware of. But I can just link him back to my life, yes.
It's just that looking at this rationally, you're probably going to be the last one of us to die.
Yeah, he gives kind of a nervous chuckle. Says, well, I certainly worked for that honor, so... Very well, we will deal with this in the ritual later. It'll take a couple hours, but it shouldn't be too costly. It should be fine.
Now, if we theoretically tried to link it to Velma, would it work? I mean, he's kind of sort of undead, just out of character. Since in character we don't know that he's undead.
Yeah, it should work.
It should work because he's only like half undead.
Yeah.
It's kind of skirting the line. It might have some weird side effects, but as far as you know, based on your knowledge of the arcane arts, it should probably work. Now, I believe this means that you get the next question.
Wait a second. Just out of character, Eidolons don't age though, right?
No, but they're vanishing out of existence on this plane might have some effect on the spell.
Dang. Alright. So out of character, when we got here, like, about how big is this? Like, I see a few buildings,
These are pretty big buildings.
So it's a population of like how many?
You could probably comfortably fit a population of 40 people here.
Okay. Because I mean, if no one else picks up, I'm just kind of legit curious. So you built this city on your own.
On rock and roll.
Who are the people whom you have invited to live here?
Oh, I have lots of friends back up in Orna, and when friends from all over come to visit or otherwise come for certain social engagements that I like to hold, then I will host them here. It's very exclusive. Very few people know of the existence of this place.
So, well, you have a siege ballerina.
Yes, I do.
But like, you never have like any visiting teams or anything. It's just, I guess, for local things.
Yeah,
It's for local
hobbies.
things. Sometimes it's used for stage if I bring some performers in. It's a very multi-purpose arena. It's just Siege Ballerina first and foremost. I'm quite a fan. Additionally, the robots that I have down here are actually programmed to be a Siege Ball team of their own. And sometimes I will bring down another Siege Ball team to go up against.
I'm sad that I'll never see this with my own eyes.
But,
I suppose that's your next question. So, mine. Where did you find Doc?
He had a pet.
On the islands on the east. He kind of just walked there and deactivated on his own.
Well, I mean, I think we established how he deactivated, but he's on the Ring Isles?
Yep.
Yeah, on Bloodsworth Isle, I think that's the name.
Bloodsworth Island. Okay.
The artifact kind of started leaking the box of what was it called again?
The sugar machine.
Yeah, covered the entire thing in
contraption.
But for what it's worth, he was well known by the Mages College at Riddleport, so it doesn't make no sense that he was hanging out there.
I have no doubt. Again, I really probably should have kept better tabs on my friends, is really what it comes down to. I had not spoken to Doc in quite some time either. I'd spoken to him a little more recently than Sunitri, but he's always on his feet and moving around. It's hard to really understand where he is at any given time. Bit of a pain to track.
But
all things considered, that island wasn't such a bad spot for him to deactivate, because if he hadn't gone there, the sugar machine could have caused a lot more damage.
Honestly, I'm starting to think he knew this was gonna happen. That was done on purpose.
That's an intriguing theory. I mean, I suppose we won't know for sure until we reactivate him. But
he did.
Anyways, I believe it's your turn for question.
Will he regain all his memories when you reactivate him?
So at this point, he's finished making super fancy cocktails in all of these glasses that he's pulled out in front of you. They've all got like little paper umbrellas and stuff in them. These look really nice. And he passes them all out in front of you. And then he holds a glass up and says, "Cheers."
Cheers.
Before immediately downing the entire glass. Then he puts it back down.
Well, let's
I imagine that all of Doc's memories will be retained. I don't expect that he will lose much, if he loses anything at all. Really, we can't know for sure until we wake him up. Again, this is mostly untrodden ground. It's not every day that we're able to get a golem to have sentience, much less bring it back to sentience. But I suspect that it will have its memories intact. Its personality, however, personality was heavily influenced by Sonitri. If we tie it back to me, then personality-wise, it will probably be closer to me than Sonitri. It will be interesting. It'll be like my friend has changed a lot. It will be hard, but it'll be good to have him back. Now, my next question for you all: what qualifications did you have that Bakerton chose you?
Pure luck. We were
there.
Yeah, we were asked to save this priestess from him, and when we showed up there, he kind of explained the situation to us.
It was mostly just, I think, based on the fact that we had the magic sword.
Yeah, Leon's sword.
Leon's sword. You have Leon's sword on you?
Yes.
Yeah, but you won't recognize it anymore. I pull Hank out.
That's unusual.
Yeah, I don't
what?
quite know what happened, but
I could cast
kind
detect
of-
magic, but you could also just tell me what on earth this sword is now.
It apparently gains sentience.
Yeah.
Sentience. You.
Yeah,
oh,
I
that's-
can communicate telepathic.
He's gonna roll some knowledge arcana, see if he understands what a blade-bound magus is.
Well, otherwise, the Bakerton did mention the Bladebound.
Well, if he might have rolled better, so. Yeah, he actually rolled kind of garbage. I've never seen such a thing before. Just a weapon gaining sentience out of seemingly nowhere.
Okay.
I mean,
But I did mention for him that Bakerton mentioned that it was kind of Bladebound thing. Where it just spontaneously just shows up or takes over a night.
Bakerton was always more knowledgeable in the offensive magics than myself. I've always
All
been
things-
much more interested in creation than destruction.
All things considered, I'm less surprised that it's turned sentient and more surprised it didn't turn into a candy cane.
At that, he gives a bit of a show. That would be much more Bakerton style, wouldn't it? So I believe you're next for questions.
Okay, so the wizard, the necromancer, is roughly aware where you are. He's been up in the market square. So, what are our escape options from this place? If should he manage to find and enter the shop?
Our escape options. This place is very sturdy, and barely anybody knows it exists. It's probably less than 3,000 people who understand that this place is even here. However, as for escape options, the hangar has multiple escape pods, very similar to ones that we came in on. Additionally, there are also suits for outdoor traversal there, so basically underwater breathing suits.
That's how you get to that garden.
Yes, as a matter of fact, my core garden I maintain meticulously. I'm very proud of it. It's gorgeous, if I do say so myself. Now, those are our best escape options, but I very highly doubt that this place could be destroyed terribly easily. The barrier that you see above you that holds the water at bay is unbelievably strong.
I'm less concerned about it being destroyed. I'm more concerned about the guy finding the entrance in the shop and actually coming down here.
Well, the pod that's normally in my shop is down here right now, so you have no need to worry.
But if he's as powerful...
He's a wizard.
Yes, he's a wizard, but I can look through his spellbook, and I'm pretty sure there's nothing he can do to get down.
Fair
He
point.
only has one teleportation spell. He's only got Dimension Door. We have nothing to fear, Dan.
Well, that's reassuring.
I'm certain that we are safe down here. That's not something that I'm concerned about. Now, what I am concerned about is how many of the artifacts you all have recovered to this point. Have you spoken with Leon?
Yes. We actually we went up to his castle, disarmed most of the traps, and took the artifact, and brought down his magic mirror friend for him in the
Leon
jail.
himself is in jail.
Yes, I'm well familiar with that. Leon made some slip-ups a while back. He's still paying for them. He's much more patient of a man than myself.
Well,
Basically, of the 5 treasures, we have 3 with one of them on us, the other 2 back with Biggertons, and we assume that the wizard has the other 2.
Which artifact do you have on you at this time?
well,
the bag of ingredients.
Alright, that's one of the less harmful ones.
We figured we should, that, and if we were going to split up the artifacts, we didn't want to risk carrying them both around. We figured we might as well use the one that we could actually use.
it's been very useful for provisions and that sort of stuff.
Very well. Your turn?
Actually, I'm just curious how we're going to get. How are we going to get that the remaining artifacts from that wizard, the necromancer's control.
Well, we know where he is. We could theoretically try to mug him, but no, I wouldn't risk it.
No, that's far too dangerous at this point. For now, what we are going to do is I'm going to start formulating a plan using my magical capabilities, which I assume far exceed yours.
Is that plan
not to be rude?
How to secure the artifacts that we have with us right now?
Yes.
Because that was going to be my next question.
We are going to get those artifacts back from Zrydan. They have no business in his. Now, what I also recommend you all do while you're down here is train. And realistically, I should myself as well. Again, combat is not a strong suit of mine. It's not something I do terribly often. In fact, I hate to say this, but I may need to borrow that spellbook of Zrydan's and copy some into my own. So that I can be here.
I have already copied everything.
Oh, well, excellent. Then if you don't mind me taking Zrydan's spellbook, for the time being at least.
No.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're welcome to the spellbook.
Additionally, here, all of you wear these. And he pulls out a bunch of like pins, like brooches, from this drawer underneath the bar. Says these are all anti-scrying brooches. You wear these, and even if he tries to scry you, it'll just get redirected somewhere else.
Well, that's good to know. But
I want to make sure that he has no idea that we're down.
Well, I'm going to put mine on immediately.
And sure enough, he actually pulls back his vest a little bit, and you see that there's one on him.
Oh, but I'm just quickly. I'm not gonna use detect magic on Klee. That would be a dick move. Detect evil, I mean.
So he also says, I guess while we're down here as well, I've got. So my shop is mostly full of useless magical items, just to clutter up the detection of magic. But I've got some backup items in a storehouse. Some of them are useless, but some of them are old magical items from when my store actually held useful magical items. It ended up being a lot cheaper to simply fill the store with garbage.
And probably you made most of that garbage in the store.
Oh, absolutely. No, I had some fun coming up with particular amounts of garbage. So if we head on over to my main offices, there's actually a room. There's a hallway full of storage rooms, and you want storage room 112. And that should have all the useful magical items. I'm going to head off to my office. Oh, actually, no. I should bring Doc. I'm afraid that you have me at a disadvantage. I don't have any of your names.
Railgale Shotchi.
Call me Don.
Don.
Yeah, you can.
Velmir?
Nava.
Alright. Nava, you're the one who seems to be somehow carrying Doc. I presume that you have some sort of strength bonus.
Yeah, I got a belt going on.
Oh, you have a heavy load belt. Oh, that's delightful. Okay. Yes, you come with me. I just need you to drop the stuff off. Drop off the golem in my office. I will get to. I will get to the ritual right away. I will be absolutely delighted to see Doc again. In the meantime, all of you head off to storage room 112, and that's where all of the most useful magical items here will be.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Alright, so he heads on up to the offices and storage building, and he leads you, Nava, up a massive staircase, and he gestures down another hallway for everybody else, and sure enough, there's a whole bunch of numbered storage rooms. And
Can
when
you hear me?
Now I can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And when you open up the door to storage room 112, you actually see that list of conspicuous magic items.
Well, again, I'm gonna grab the van braces quickly. The ones that, you know, the ones that add +1 to like +1 deflection.
I remember. I'm gonna post them all in chat again, just so nobody needs to scroll up.
Yeah, we all kind of decide ahead of time what we were interested
So
in.
you've got all of your equipment. Yeah, so you just get all of this stuff.
So yeah, I was gonna take the ring.
Yeah, so you drop off the golem in Farron's room, and he says, "Yeah, please, just make yourself at home in Maridia for the time being. I'll be right here for the next few hours."
Wait, so we get all of this stuff to the
You get
device?
all of this stuff.
Oh.
Well then.
Oh, I thought we were only getting one of the items.
You're getting all of this stuff.
Okay.
It's more generous than a dragon.
Well, I guess no. I was gonna say I'd call dibs on the belt as well, but hey, never mind.
So, what do you
That
guys
is such
do
an
during?
all-around item. It's good for everyone. But if it's alright, I also get the crown of sword. As I am usually in the middle of things.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I just wanted the. I've already got the van. I was torn between the van braces and the belt because one makes me a little harder to hit. The other makes it so I survive a hit a little better.
Yeah, surviving hits is not in general Raocow strong suit.
No, I've got 30 health at level 5.
Well, with that equipped, you have 35 health.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So, but
I guess since I'm the one most likely to be flying, I should take the air stuff.
I really just need the monocle, so
Alright, so I'm taking the ball of air and the wind.
Velmir should take the pearl. He's the only one who can use it right now.
What was it that did?
You regain one second level spell slot after using it. One.
Alright.
So it's only if you already prepared that spell early. So you get to recover that exact spell slot.
I can't remember.
It's exactly like spell recall, except I don't spend the arcane.
Yep.
I can't remember. Is the pearl power a one-time use item or is it a multi?
It's a once-a-day item.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, that would be good for him. Means he can use a powerful spell again.
And I remember you guys were talking about giving the Ring of Sacred Mistletoe to Kali.
So that leaves the crown and the bottle of air, or which did Nava take?
Yeah, I'll take it, I guess.
Who takes the crown?
I take it.
Yeah, it makes sense for him, because he's the melee person, really.
Who ended up with the Magnetist glove?
Also Velma.
2.
Okay. Cool.
Gets 3 items. Lucky bastard.
Get over here.
Alright, so you guys got all your fancy new magic items. What are you gonna do in the time that he's up in his office?
I'm
Actually,
gonna...
since before I have the Death Watch eyes, what do they say about Mr. Gnome?
They showed him as a very vibrant, living shade. He's definitely alive.
Very alive.
He didn't pull any necromancy shenanigans. He's definitely alive.
I'm gonna pray to Shibe to grab the ability to fight off the undead. Basically explaining why I've got suddenly more usage of channel energy.
All right. Does anybody else want to do anything? Maybe explore the city, check out the coral garden.
Probably.
Doing that.
I'll check out the coral garden.
All right. So sure enough, you head on over to the hangar, and the 2 golems that are guarding the hangar kind of are just staring at you as you enter, and you see a bunch of different sized underwater suits that look like they should allow you to breathe underwater. And you manage to find one of your size, and you slip it on, and you head off to the coral garden. There's a nice airlock or water lock. Airlock. It's still an airlock. That lets you outside, and sure enough, you see the vast expanse of this water stretching out in so many directions. But there's this big old mountain of coral, basically, that you see, and it's absolutely vibrant and gorgeous. It's got all sorts of coloring and has a massive variety of life. Sure enough, it does seem very well cared for.
Spend a bit of time.
Roll me a perception check, actually, while you're out there.
Okay.
Okay, you actually, even through the suit and through the water, you managed to hear something. It sounded like a big rippling. And it came off in the distance. I'm not quite sure what it was.
Well, I am going to go and, being properly paranoid, I'm going to head back through the hangar and, rush back to the hangar and, try and, let, oh, what's the gnome's name again?
Farens.
Farens, know about that. That there's
Alright.
there's a very big, heard something very big, coming.
Alright, so you kind of bolt up to his office, and you see him sitting in a chair, like reading over a spell book with his wand out, pointed at Doc. He's like chanting stuff, and he looks up and says, "Yes, what is it?"
I'm not sure if I'm just being overly paranoid, but I went out to the Coral Garden, and even through the suit, I heard something big rippling through the water towards. Was it headed?
Yes, that's a local kraken. He usually leaves us alone.
Okay. Sorry, I was just being properly paranoid.
No, that's perfectly fine. A kraken is usually nothing to sneeze at, but this one has left us alone, and has been a resident here for quite some time.
Okay.
Another reason why this place is unbeknownst to most. Nobody wants to be dealing with a kraken.
Okay, I'm sorry for disturbing you.
You're perfectly fine. By the way, please do not head too far out from the city. I have an alarm spell set there, and it'll set off some bells. We don't want anybody getting in, unbeknownst.
No, I just went to the Coral Garden and heard that sound. But okay, good luck on resurrecting Doc.
Thank you. Enjoy those magical items.
And I'll head back down and explore the city, explore this little mini city some more, I suppose.
All right. So some time passes. So you guys are kind of getting acquainted to there around you. Do you guys do any testing out of any of your new items, or do anything fun with them?
Well, I've been wondering if there's anything we need anywhere, since we got a ring of teleportation.
Well, all that to do is go back to a place you've already been recently.
Yeah, but has there been anywhere we've been to that?
I think
100 feet.
it's it's limited to 100 feet. It's basically
And it has to be somewhere you have been after rearing the wing, because you have to attune to that spot.
It's like a mark and recall.
Yeah.
It's like mark and recall in Morrowind. Only you get to mark 3 places a day.
It's for Aurora's Wind.
If you want to use the lesson.
Because I've been looking at the Ring of Teleport, and it said it was like the teleport spell, which is different. So I guess it might just have another name then.
Well,
So you basically, when you went into the storage room, all of these magical items were actually labeled. So that's kind of how you know what all of these. They have little labels on them. So sure enough, you guys don't think you've ever run into anything like a ring of teleportation.
Oh, so
What they're describing is a ring of return.
so the name is intentional, not a mistake.
Again, does it work like a teleport spell, or did you accidentally label the Ring of Return something else?
Oh, Sterling, the DM, made no errors in my...
So it basically allows him to use the teleport spell.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, you could ask.
Yeah.
Or, detect magic and spellcraft.
I'm going to try and spellcraft it first, because I want to roll something. Alright, this done. Wow.
It's a magic ring, all right.
Yeah, I'll ask for clarification then.
All right, so you go up to his office, and you actually, when you enter the office, you actually see Doc kind of twitching a little bit, like the joints and stuff. And
Nice.
and the Farens looks up at you. Hi. Is there something I can help you with?
There's just a confusion with the labeling in your things. Were just because the ring you have given us has been labeled Ring of Teleportation, which is not an official term.
Ring of Teleportation, was that in room 112?
Can you repeat that?
That was in room 112?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, that's very funny. That's a mistake on my part. Here, try using it.
It's kind of scary to use that kind of thing.
I promise you, it's perfectly fine.
Alright, where do you want me to try to go?
Just go back to the main courtyard or something.
Alright. Well, I trust you, so yeah, I'll activate it.
Alright, the ring vanishes off your finger. That should have been in room 111. That's where my less than useful items are. I apologize for that.
I'm now imagining that Don was in the court and suddenly the ring appears in front of him.
Yeah.
My prayers have been heard.
Well, that explains that.
I mean, if you'd like to dig your way through my less than useful items, you're more than welcome to. You might find something that's somewhat useful. I wouldn't put any money on that.
I could see some use with something like that, just a ring that you can teleport somewhere as a distraction.
If you can tie something to the ring that counts as part of the ring, you can bring something somewhere that can be used, actually.
Now, if you'd like to take a look around, you can go to room 111. That's just right next door to the storage.
I will, if it says I can.
Absolutely, go for it.
Yeah, so I am looking there.
All right, so you head into room 111, and you see a book, you see a couple of potions, you see a bag, you see a torch. You see a deck of playing cards. You see just a spoon. You see a treasure chest. You see a book. You see actually a suit of armor, interestingly enough. And you also see a blanket crumpled up in the corner. And you see another ring. I didn't see that already.
I have to assume that each and every one of these things is probably some kind of prank.
You also actually see a pair of glasses as well.
So if it looks useful, it probably isn't.
Well, are they labeled?
They are labeled. So, one is labeled the Ring of Pointing. That's the ring. That's there. The book you see is labeled the Tome of Infinite Knock Knock Jokes. You see that there's one labeled Grog of Substantial Whimsy. You see that there's a rock labeled the Stone of Discomfort. There's a pair of glasses called the Glasses of Hindsight. The suit of armor is actually labeled as anti-sword armor. You see the torch is labeled the Torch of Night Vision.
I'm guessing that it's... Oh, you mean they're not actually magic? Okay, I get the joke, yeah.
The potion, there's another potion that's labeled Potion of Hydration.
water.
There's a blanket that's labeled the Tent of Urban Survival. There is a little bag that's labeled as the Purse of Holding. There's just a mug that's labeled as an anti-spill mug. The treasure chest is labeled the passcode chest, and underneath it says in parentheses, "It's locked." You see a label, but you don't see what's actually there until you take a closer look, and there's a very thin string. And this label says the 6-inch string of invulnerability. There is a deck of cards that's labeled the Deck of Many Twos. You see the spoon is labeled as a lichen fork. And there's a rod that's labeled the Rod of Turning.
I mean, you joke, but an invincible string could legit be very useful since it implies it can hold any weight.
I think this might be an Empress New Clothes thing.
Well, it isn't.
I mean,
Like how?
I mean, the Book of Infinite Knock Knock Jokes or the Grog of Whimsy could be funny.
By the way,
will help out Don's comedian career.
Actually, the Tome of Infinite Knock Knock Jokes, I'm just going to tell you guys now, does provide a +1 to perform comedy.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm just gonna come in and gonna shout, "Hey, guess what? She messed up my prayers and rewarded me with this ring, which came out of nowhere."
I'm not going to tell where that ring is from. You can cave that.
So here, let me actually send you guys a list of all these items with just the names. The thing is that the list that I have here is kind of messy for copy pasting, so give me a sec. But if you're interested in any of them, you can tinker with them.
I'm picking the string because at some point, like, an invincible anything can be useful.
Alright, you have the 6-inch string of invulnerability.
That is a bad pun, Duker.
What?
In Pathfinder, in the Discord chat.
I don't see what the
That was
is.
Weimar.
Huh?
I
No.
was talking about Weimar.
No, Duker made a post list, and I quote, "I wonder if he ever had the opportunity to release the Kraken."
There's a pun.
Yeah, it's a joke, but not a pun, I think.
Or
It's a reference from Roland's family.
I got the reference. It's a terrible reference.
It's the best rep. How do you do?
Fine, how do you do?
Slam.
I'm almost there, guys, don't worry.
No problem.
I'm just trying to think if there's anything at all that we can really do.
Oh well. Raocow, you have at least one Twitch follower now.
There you go. That is the full list of items that are labeled in this room.
Wait, so the lichen fork is a fork that turns into a spoon.
You just know that it's a spoon that's labeled the lichen fork.
Well, might as well go in and.
I bet it turns into a fork under the full moonlight.
It's a bunch that I want to ask him about what they really do.
Basket chest was what? Lock as a passcode, wasn't it? Didn't you say?
Yeah, it's locked.
Passcode checked has the words "it's locked" in parentheses under it on the wall.
Ah, yeah, it's locked. I see. Yeah, that's the passcode.
Yeah, I'll go look over there as well when I see all of them gathering over there.
Yeah.
Might as well, I mean, I suppose we could, just test some of them out. I gently swing my sword at the, anti-sword armor, or my wakizashi.
Your sword goes right through. The armor is undamaged.
I lightly punch the armor.
Your fist just goes right through.
The armor is untouchable, literally.
It provides no protection, but it will be perfectly shiny, no matter what.
It will look impressive.
So, as you guys are kind of laughing it up in this room of random, basically gag items, you actually hear some very heavy footsteps coming down the hall. And
probably not.
Yep.
Sure enough, poking his head in is one of the robots. It looks mostly distinct from the other robots because it actually has its chest compartment outline that you can see. The other ones you're not sure have a chest compartment. But he kind of looks you up and down, says, "Hello. I was told that you were the ones who rescued me."
Doc.
Yes, we did rescue you, Doc.
So how's it feeling?
It's unusual. I don't feel myself. I feel like part of me is missing. Who are you all?
We're
Fact enthusiasts.
Well, I suppose you're in the correct location for that.
If Farens didn't tell you, we're sent by Bakerton to recover as many of his 5 artifacts as we could.
I was told that collecting mine was a bit of a hassle.
It just involved we did have to end up killing a dragon made out of candy that was confused about being made out of candy.
This does sound like Bakerton's work. I kept the sugar machine in my chest for many years, and I suppose only my deactivation could have truly let it free.
You did good going to an island because the box kind of went out of control after.
Yeah, like that kind of makes more like. How much do you remember?
I remember reaching Bloodsworth Island. I believe I was simply looking for dragons to speak to. I've always been fascinated by larger magical creatures.
Well, we found the dragon and we kind of saved it by deactivating the box, so we've kind of got so it's kind of on good terms with us.
That is good news. I would have hated to have angered such a wonderful beast.
Although I'm suspecting that the dragon, whatever that candy, was making candy creatures out of with candy creatures or something like that had the minds of actual creatures that had coded or something like that on the island, which
I have used the sugar machine very little as its guardian. I have very little use for it. I suspect that whatever powers Bakerton has bestowed upon it have mostly gone unnoticed by myself. Although I am familiar with the basic working of his artifacts, which is the root of the problem as we see it now. The artifacts, of course, draw on the life force of creatures around them, just ever so slightly, in order to function.
So if the farm, no, out of character, if the farm didn't have an anti-magic field, the artifact would have deactivated on its own, because everything would have been dead.
If everything was truly out of energy on the island, then the artifact would have theoretically deactivated. Yes.
But the dragon was not out of energy, so it was still activated.
Dragons are very powerful beasts.
Yeah, so that might have been it.
I cannot thank you enough for my rescue. I hope that I may be able to be of assistance to you for the continuation of your journey.
Do you have any ideas on how we could capture a wizard?
Well, I suspect that the next step will be to find him. I doubt that he will be in Arna for much longer. With the help of Farens, we should be able to scry his location. It should be rather simple with a personal belonging of his, like the book I've been informed you all collected.
I wonder.
I mean, logically, he's heading towards the artifact. So either he's heading back towards Bagerton, or he detects us and goes to us.
But he can't detect us, so he either goes to Bakerton or he will go to Riddleport. Riddleport seems most likely, to be honest.
Why would he go to Riddleport, though?
He
He doesn't know that we've been there, and he knows that Doc has been in the area. And the other place where Leon lives, I forget the name, is a bit further. It's on the other side of Riddleport anyway. So.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense. So we're returning to Riddleport.
I implore you to wait for scrying information. I'm certain that Farens can assist you further in this matter.
Just idle speculation.
I do not know personally where this necromancer may be hiding out. I'm unfamiliar other than simply the news reports of his invasion of Hog.
Well, Daventry's been sitting in an inn, so I would imagine that he does take lodgings like a regular person from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting to go around checking every hotel in town. That'd be kind of silly.
I don't suppose we know if he carries still stuff with him, because that's how we found him the first time.
You think he has a hiding spot where he left his, the stuff and amulets?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he's not carrying both with him for the same reason we don't carry everything with us.
Actually, I think Hank said that he had both.
Oh
yeah, right.
And I asked Hank to verify if I remember right.
He kind of wakes up a little bit in a bit of a start. It seems like he was doing the closest thing to sleeping that a magical artifact can do. He goes, oh yes, I'm sorry, sir. What was the question?
Did the Pirate Wizard carry both the artifacts on him?
Yes, he had both of them on his person.
Yep, he had both.
Okay.
One thing that you may want to consider is possibly he does not understand that you are after him, in a sense.
Well, we've been chasing him through half of Daventry, but haven't seen him since. Well, he hasn't seen us since. Yes, yeah, makes sense.
He might not even know that we've met Bakerton, or that Bakerton woke up.
But he probably remembers us. We killed his bird.
Yeah, he definitely knows that we were looking for his amulets. That's right. So he might be suspecting that we are after him, but not necessarily that we are in the area.
I mean, wonder if Farens can send a message spell. I forgot how far a message spell can go.
Thinking about it, he's a wizard, so that means he's intelligent, like, by definition. And
Yes, sending can go really far. Let me check.
he knows that we've been looking for the amulet. He hasn't seen us in weeks, and he knows that there are and he knows that we have a map with the locations of the artifacts on the east half of the continent. So it's quite makes sense that he would assume that we would have gone in that direction.
I mean, if you want to send a message, sending is anywhere in the same plane.
Mm-hmm.
That should be good enough.
I was just gonna ask. I'll see if Farens has it. For reasons. I want to contact someone. Yeah.
I believe Farens is up in
Yeah.
his office still.
Yeah. So I'm going to go. Have fun with these items. I'm gonna be back soon. And I'm gonna head towards Farens.
Alright.
But
So you head up towards Farens, and yeah, sure enough, he's actually in his office. He's got a big pool of water, and he's working on a little bit of a ritual right now. Hello, Ralgo. What can I assist you with?
I was just wondering if you can use the if you have any spells to contact someone far away or whatever. Send a message.
Yes. Probably the best way. So I have two ways to contact somebody anywhere. Those two means are scrying and using a message spell through that. And then alternatively, which is probably a little quicker, although requires them to be asleep, or requires them to it requires you to wait until they are awake again after sleep, is I've got a spell called Dream, where I can send somebody a message in a dream. Other than that, I don't really have much that can reach outside this bubble. Not terribly far, any. Maybe back up to Arna.
Okay. It was just it. Oh no, I wasn't sending anything. I wasn't going to send it to Bakerton. I was going to send it to I was going to send a message. You guys all talking about that made up, and I was going reminded me of something, and I was going to send a message to Demert Evil Crusher.
Demert Evil Crusher.
But
very well. It's really a lot faster for me to simply cast Dream on you, and then you can send the message.
Never. I kind of I kind of have some pull with that noble family and that sort of stuff. Evil Crusher family. I'm kind of an adopted son.
I mean, I certainly don't care. I imagine that you'd want to people messages, as long as you don't tell them exactly where we are. That's really
I was just going to send him a message to keep a lookout for the Necromancer if he shows up in Daventry. That sort of stuff.
Absolutely. We can send probably a dream message would be perfectly fine for that then. You seem not terribly pleased by that option. A lot in terms of very long-range message capability.
Oh no, that should work if and when it does. It'll just be interesting. Haven't spoken with him for a bit, not since we left Daventry.
Very well. Okay, hold on. And he spends a few seconds casting a quick spell and pokes you on the shoulder and says, "All right. Now you should be able to send him a message in his dreams, and he'll receive it in his neck."
Okay.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to my scrying ritual.
And
so, what is the message you send?
I was just gonna basically send him a message asking him to look out for the Necromancer. The Necromancer. Something like that, saying he's got some... he's not a very nice person. He's the attacked hog and that sort of stuff. And there's a good chance he'll be heading back up to Daventry, possibly.
In a dream, can you send like video or image components?
Let me see. Message can be of any length, and the recipient remembers it perfectly upon waking. You appear in the creature's dream, so it is you actually that they see. So you can give like hand gestures and interpretive dance or what have you.
But like you can't like.
What about
over the
objects?
dream?
What about objects that you have on person?
Yeah, you can use props.
Yeah, then I could draw something up, maybe.
So they would have an actual picture to refer to.
I mean, sure, that works. Sure, that works.
Because in 5e, Dream lets you actually manipulate the actual dream itself, so you can create images and whatnot. I thought it was part of Dream. I find it, but it's not.
Because, yeah, I suppose I'll actually try and scribble something up, and I'm not sure. What?
I can draw people if that's what you need.
Yeah, but my character's again, he's not wanting to very much lampshade the fact that he's got resources. I mean, your character's hiding the fact he's a one of your someone's character's hiding the fact. Velmir's hiding the fact he's a vampire. What? Okay, not everyone.
I figured that it wasn't character very much. That like he's not telling us that he's doing this.
I think Nava. No, I think Dawn is the only character who has nothing to hide, and Colleen, she's quite open about being.
She's open.
Who she is.
Although actually, I suppose I'll ask him if he's got a picture of if he can draw up a picture of the wizard, and I'll try to drop a picture as well. You know, that person that offered, I'll try and draw up a picture as well.
Oh,
for reasons, in case we need to that sort of stuff. Oh, you've actually got craft. Oh, you've actually got craft.
Yeah,
well,
that is a spot on picture that you just drew. It's looking great. Like you got the shading just right. You got in just how sunken in his eyes are and stuff. Great.
Every single strand of his beard hair.
Well, thanks for drawing that. We can use that. We can use that to for gathering information, that sort of stuff purposes.
Yeah,
but
glad to help.
But I'm gonna borrow that for a minute. I'm gonna borrow that for. I'll keep hold of it.
While you're going to bed, keep it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna question it.
So, I'll probably use the sketch and that sort of stuff to, basically, again, tell Demert or whatever, something like that, a little bit, basically, that he's not a very good person, and to keep an eye out for him in, Daventry, well, showing that sort of stuff, and he's a necromancer who kind of attacked Hog with a lot of undead about 15 years ago, which should...
Right. Message sent.
Yeah.
And then by the time you're done all that, the Farens himself actually walks back downstairs to see all you guys, who I imagine are still tinkering around with all these miscellaneous items.
I want to put on the glasses of hindsight.
All right, you put on the glass of hindsight, and man, just things that already happened, you remember very well.
That could actually be useful.
You know how I do that knowledge 5 minutes ago check thing? Well, if you need to do that, the glass of hindsight will give you a +10 to that.
I mean, it's not a bad thing to have.
No?
Like, it's not like the armor of Get Stabbed.
Hey, that armor stays very clean.
I can't imagine.
So you guys are all down there, and Farens himself actually walks down and says, I just finished scrying the necromancer. He's still wandering around Orna for the time being. He's looking surprisingly lost for a man who's got such an intimidating history. Seems a bit bumbling.
I'm not sure if he knows.
Considering that metropolitan, I'm not surprised.
And the fact of that he might not know Gnomish. We're lucky that someone here could translate a map.
Is Orna really that hard to navigate without Gnomish? I've been told by friends in the past it is.
It is. We're lucky that one of our party has comprehend languages.
Wasn't so hard to navigate, it was just knowing where we had to go in the first place.
I suppose that's fair.
Knowing a common.
Anyways,
so I have, while we were walking about, like reading the signs, listening to the people, but I think I have gotten a grasp on the note.
Oh, like the entire language?
Yeah, pretty much. Close enough.
You work quickly, don't you?
And I tell him in Gnomish, yeah, I try. I like to study language.
His eyebrow perks up and he says, very well then. The two of my golems have been making us dinner back at the tavern. I'll meet you there in approximately 30 minutes for a lovely meal.
That sounds good.
And then tomorrow morning we'll get right to training.
Yep.
And he heads off. Do you guys want to tinker with these items anymore before?
Yes. I'm
turning.
The ring of pointing?
Yeah, I was gonna try and use the ring of pointing, but someone else.
The ring of pointing has a button on it.
I pressed the.
When you press the button, a little dot appears on the wall ahead of you, and you realize that if you move your finger, that the dot moves with it.
Ooh, that could actually be useful for actually pointing out things. Like, have you ever
make the pirate wizard blind?
Have you ever had the issue where?
Nice.
Yeah. Have you ever been at the issue where somebody points at something for you and you actually didn't know what he's actually pointing at? Hey, that would have, yeah, that's useful. Yeah. Situational but useful.
What about the rod of turning? Someone want to?
Yeah. I want to try using it on the armor.
It does nothing. You can make a spellcraft check to see if you can understand the magics behind it, but you like cast it kind of almost haphazardly and randomly around the room, and it doesn't affect anything. With that, you can tell that actually you think that there's like a spell here to make milk spoil.
Turning.
The milk turns.
Oh.
Well
then.
I mean, we could
I
grab.
was hoping it would turn undead.
I was hoping it would be like just turning something around, like 5 degrees or something, just turning it.
I try lighting the torch of night vision, unless it's.
All right. You light the torch of night vision. You're holding a torch.
Okay, apparently
it's a brightly lit torch.
Okay, apparently.
Take magic on it.
It does have magic.
Okay, I'm just gonna put the torch out then.
All right.
I was going to say I thought the ring of pointing would actually work, but you put it on and then you can point at things with the ring that has a finger on it, the finger that has a ring on it.
Some of these actually do seem kind of useful. Not the anti-sword armor. That's completely useless. But hey.
I mean, if you can trick somebody into wearing it.
I mean, it's nice. It can be used in a social setting, technically speaking.
Yeah, to look more more knightly, more proper.
So, did you want to actually try to figure out what the torch of night vision does?
Yeah. Sure.
Somebody's gonna need to roll me a spellcraft check.
Oh, that's not me then.
Yeah. This torch, while lit, grants 30 feet of night vision to the wielder.
In addition to giving out light so it doesn't work.
It works very well.
Yeah, but torchwood as well. Well then.
I mean, if you could somehow make it that the torch is covered while it's on.
Yeah.
But why?
So you have dark vision and the other person in the room doesn't.
I guess.
But yeah, I mean, how would you cover something like if the actual the flame? You know, the flame would just die.
I'll be back in a minute.
The proper solution is to be a race that has like. Then you don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, most of these things are very situational, but potentially useful.
Yeah, check out the purse. How big is it on the inside?
You open it up and it's actually smaller on the inside.
You said it was like a quart or something?
It's 1 quart of space.
What about if you turn it around? Like, bag of holding apparently doesn't work if you turn it around, but if you turn the purse around, it might work as an normal purse.
Or is it like a bag of holding and you destroy like a space of space?
I imagine it follows the same rules as a bag of holding for being turned inside out.
So if you're gonna try, I'm gonna get out of the room.
No, I mean, you could just turn it inside out, use it like a regular purse, I mean, by using the outside as the inside. And you could use it for, you know, destroying small objects by destroying the purse with it. Well, not destroying, but, you know, sending it to the astral plane or whatever happens.
Or we, depending on, I don't know how it works in this universe, but we put the purse of holding into a real bag of holding, if it explodes or not. An interdimensional implosion.
Yeah, it creates it. So how Pathfinder works is if extra dimensional spaces are placed inside of each other, then all of the things contained in both are sucked into a void and lost forever.
Like 3.5e, there was rules for putting a bag of holding into a portable hole, rules for putting a portable hole into a bag of holding, but not for putting a bag of holding into a bag of holding, or a portable hole into a portable hole. And that is...
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna say they just get sucked into the void. So theoretically this is useful if you want to destroy the contents of a bag of holding.
Oh, is that what the purse of holding does? Is...
No, it just has a side effect, but being a of holding.
Oh.
It has extra dimensional space on the inside, but it's smaller than the actual space of the purse.
If it's not extra dimensional, is it just intradimensional?
No, because it's still of another dimension. It's just smaller than what the actual contents are.
It's an anti-holding. Basically, it's less useful than having a purse.
It might be useful for faking having a full purse. Like, you put a couple of coins in there, looks like you have a full purse to, you know, lure in a snapshot, like a cut purse.
Maybe, but we're not in that business, so...
We could go back to Riddleport, you can definitely find one there. You just have to try. What else haven't we investigated? String of...
I'm just immediately gonna do a spell craft on that one.
What are you doing it of?
On the licking fork. Like it.
Yeah, it turns into a fork on the full moon.
Yeah, that's really nice.
A
multi-purpose tool.
I guess.
You just need a move.
By definition.
I mean,
for most of the year and pasta on the full moon. once a month.
I just spread out the deck of many twos. Look through all the cards. Look through all the cards.
So you look through all the cards, and it actually looks like a regular deck of cards.
Now pull 8 cards.
Okay.
Draw 8 cards. Draw.
I'll draw 8 cards.
5 of them are 2s.
I mean, we could have some fun trying to play games.
For cheating at blackjack. You could cheat at blackjack.
Possibly.
It would affect the dealer as well.
But it would make things interesting.
I wonder, will I get a 2 or something else?
It'd make 21 very interesting.
Yeah.
2, hit me 2, hit me 2, hit me 2.
10th of Urban Survival, I assume, just has an effect that warms you up.
I mean...
you have no idea. You want to make a spellcraft check?
Yes. And the going up.
Alright, yeah, that's a good spellcraft check. Yeah, with this you realize that it makes you better at survival, but only when it's set up as a tent and only indoors.
Only indoors. Well then. But it says urban survival, so yeah, okay. And while I'm adding a spellcraft on the rock, stone of discomfort.
There's some sort of magic there. You're not quite sure what it is.
Maybe raocow can help as well.
Are you guys gonna try picking it up?
Oh, Nava. Oh.
Wow,
Nava immediately knows what this is. Nava, you know that this stone is always just a little too hot to hold comfortably. You know when you're like unloading dishes from a freshly done dishwasher and the plates are just really hot and you don't want to hold on to them very long? It's like that.
Well,
that temperature always, but only when somebody's touching it.
Well, that could be useful. Yeah. Or we could, have fun playing hot potato or something. Yeah, but I suppose that's all of the items.
Well, the potion of hydration, but basically water, assuming.
Well,
I'm assuming it hydrates you more than regular water. But...
I mean, yeah, you could roll a spellcraft check over it. Me too.
Okay, just drink it right away. No, that's a waste.
This isn't magic. It's just water.
I told you. Water.
Well, then I'll pour the potion of hydration in the anti-spill mug and try and take a drink out of it.
You can't. The water won't spill out.
Well, that's called we need to get straws. Oh well. I'm just gonna leave the mug there then. With a full of water.
Leave a mug full of water on the shelf.
Yeah,
that's gonna go bad very quickly.
Well, you can't.
Only if you use the rod of turning, right?
Actually, turn the mug upside down. See if the water sticks to the bottom, or if it goes like slides down to the opening and then just sticks there.
Okay, I'll turn it upside down.
You turn it upside down, it sticks to the bottom of the mug.
Well then.
Yeah,
that's not useless, technically speaking.
I mean,
but
yeah,
if you can't even drink out of it.
If you've got a straw, it's definitely useless for, taking a drink while on a roller coaster.
But like, if you have like extremely precious liquid of some kind,
like some ancient dragon blood,
you can just keep it forever, and like you wouldn't be afraid of spilling it anywhere for real.
But then there's the question of how do you get it out when you need it?
Well, it's still water. Like, can you like dip a spoon in it?
That's usually
get the lightning fork in it, and yeah, there's nothing stopping you from doing that.
Yeah, you can use tools.
I wonder. I'm gonna try and get the water out of there, out of the mug using the lichen fork. You know,
Alright, yeah, that seems to work just fine.
Okay. So basically, so long as the water's not actually touching the lip, it'll go out.
Like,
Yeah.
I imagine it'll evaporate on its own.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's not a useless thing. It's just extremely niche.
Like everything else.
Yeah. But I suppose we're done here. Might as well I'll grab the deck of many twos and head off.
Yeah, I'll take the tome of infinite jokes. Number of jokes. It's gonna get. It will probably get corny after a while if I use it too much, but I haven't used comedy in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so yeah, you guys see on off to dinner, I guess. Unless
Excuse me.
I grab the glasses.
Alright, so you've got the glass of hindsight, the tome of infinite knock-knock jokes, and the deck of many too.
How about should grab the ring of pointing to?
Yeah, whoever has the highest perception modifier.
And so you guys head off to dinner with Farens, and you make it to kind of this back banquet hall. One of the golems leads you back there, and Farens is sitting at the end of the table and he says, "Please, take a seat." And you see that this table is actually full of like, you know, like the classic medieval dinner with like the roast whole pig with the apple in its mouth and everything. Yeah, you got a classic medieval banquet going on here. Please take a seat. And the golems immediately start serving food.
Yeah, I take a seat.
So these other golems, are they also bound to your life force, or are they just regular golems?
No, these are just regular golems. Udak is the only one that I made special.
Right.
So tomorrow, we need to do some training, and I suspect that our two spellcasters here, Nava and Velmir, was it? I believe that you two probably aren't super familiar with going head-to-head in combat with a spellcaster.
I mean, I know Nava. Some is. It seems like he's pretty good at summoning stuff. So.
I mean, I try to avoid combat as much as possible. So yeah, I don't have that much experience. Like, I mean, we've had fights here and now.
I'm a healer. I'm a healer, Jim, not a fighter.
We had a bit of going down through the center or whatever of the ruins or whatever, something like that. We ran into a death worm, so, and escaped. Stupid.
I suspect, however, that some more traditional training in this matter might be nice. So, Velmir, you're a magus, correct?
Yep, that's right.
If that's the case, I'd like you to prepare a couple of. I'd like you to prepare a couple of shield spells for tomorrow. I assume that Nava, you additionally have the shield spell in your arsenal.
I do have shield, yes.
All right, then tomorrow morning meet me in the Siege Bell Arena, and we'll do some training. The rest of you, the golems actually can be used for combat training at any time. Otherwise, I just request that you hone your skills in the time that you're here. And yeah, with that, dig in, everybody.
Yeah.
Also, the golems will lead you to your rooms upstairs in the inn afterward.
Okay.
And I imagine dinner passes peacefully. Does anybody have any things they want to bring up to Farens?
I'm gonna say I'm surprised you have a suit for a winged kobold, but for going out in the thing. But
well, I mean, they are not terribly form-fitting suits. They don't need to fit to specifications too closely. I have a wide range of guests. I try to accommodate. And sure enough, you remember that there was just basically a wall covered in these suits in the hangar. So it was pretty intensive.
Aside from that, I don't really have much to say. So I'm just gonna...
Alright, well, good night everybody, and I will see you in the morning. And then the next morning comes, you got brought to your bedrooms, and they're very comfortable, and you're basically led to these fancy accommodations that you enjoy after your long journey. You guys have been traveling a lot by foot. And the next morning, with Valmir and Nava, you meet Farens in the Siege Ball Arena, and he's actually got one of his golems there with him. You guys are kind of in the center of it. And he turns to you guys and says, "Alright, today, gentlemen, I'm going to teach you how to counterspell somebody." Now, how counterspelling usually works is usually prepare to counterspell someone, and when you do so, you need to see if you can figure out what spell they're casting in the first place, and if you cast the exact spell back at them at that exact moment, then it counters out their spell. This can work for any spell, really, and that's going to be incredibly useful if you're going up against someone as powerful as this wizard. Even the smaller things, even simply a magic missile spell canceled out from a powerful wizard can be huge. That can save your party member in the right time. So it's good to recognize when the opponent is on offense and when you might be able to counter them. So, my golem here has the use of a very small number of spells. And I want you to try to counter them. Because I feel that this is something that you might not have learned. So, here we go. Prepare yourselves. And this golem does in fact start a gesture in order to cast a spell. Roll me a spellcraft check to see if you recognize it. Yeah, you guys both immediately recognize this as a shield spell.
Oh, that was my spell.
Do you cast the shield spell back?
I mean, I would.
I guess so.
Alright, so both of you just counteract it immediately. And it kind of just backfires in the golem's face.
Thankfully, the golem is now well shielded.
No, actually, the shield spell was completely cancelled out. That's how counterspelling works. So Farens is delighted. He's like, "Wow, you might be a bit better off in the situation than I anticipated. You got that pretty well down." The downside, of course, to counterspelling is the fact that you need to know what your opponent is able to cast. But luckily enough for us, it seems that Velmir's actually collected the spell book of the person that you are looking to go after. So it seems like things are a little more in your favor than they would be in most situations. I
still have to have prepared, so it still...
That's true. That is true. However, if you're going to be preparing for the next day, and you understand that your opponent is likely to cast certain spells, then you can certainly know which ones to prepare in order to at least counter a few. And that could be invaluable. I know that most wizards probably don't prepare more than, say, one mage armor spell per day if they're planning going to combat, unless they're planning on a long, sustained day. So, for example, if you can counteract his mage armor spell at the beginning of the combat, if you catch him off guard and he immediately tries to do so in reaction, that could be astounding for your party to actually take down such a dangerous foe. These are simply my recommendations. I will leave you my golems to practice this on as you see fit. In the meantime, Velmir, if you need to learn some more spells, I can also lend you the use of my spell copy set.
That would be appreciated.
Alright, and with that he says, alright, simply it's up in my office whenever you just come see me and I'll share it with you. And just for the sake of expediency, that's a spellbook.
Right.
So just keep in mind that you can't learn all of these because they're wizard spells and you're a magus. But you could learn a lot of these, and Farens absolutely encourages you. And Farens actually spends most of the rest of the day kind of in his office, squirreled away. Do any of you do anything this day?
I'm probably gonna take him up on the offer and do some light combat with the golems or whatever. Trying to.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some archery training.
All right. Sure enough, the golems make for excellent sparring partners. The golems actually have some basic. They've got a little attachment. One of them has a little attachment in his arm that makes an archery target pop up, and he can move it at very consistent speeds, and he can increase it in size, and he can basically help you out a lot with your archery training. Sparring with the golems is great too. They never deal a fatal blow, but you can also adjust how much they don't go easy on you as well. So you guys managed to actually learn a lot from fighting these golems. And Farens actually scries Rydan again today as well. And he finds that Zrydan actually, and he actually calls you all into his office at this point. He points you all to look at the font where he's scried Zrydan. And he says, look at this. And you look in, and it seems that Zrydan is aboard. He seems to be at the helm of a ship, but the ship is green and glowing and ethereal looking. He looks perfectly normal and like the human that he is, but he's clearly at the helm of a ship. And scrying actually lets you see a little bit around you as well, and you can actually see a few skeletons wandering around on the periphery.
I see he's probably gone to the Bloodsworth Island.
One thing that I am interested in is to see where he ends up going. Unfortunately, scrying like this doesn't tell us exactly where he is. We might need to wait a few days before he actually settles into a location where we can track.
Well, as we said, he knew that dock was somewhere around Riddleport, and the island covered in rock candy isn't exactly inconspicuous.
Absolutely not.
No.
That's definitely going to set off his artifact alarm.
Hopefully the one farm that was left on the island doesn't remove its anti-magic thing, because I think one of us has a parasol that keeps attacking him. It just shows up out of nowhere.
Is that the case? A parasol?
Yeah.
Necromancer. There's a necromancer approaching a defenseless farm, and you're worried about the cursed parasol.
Wait a minute, hold on. Do you mean this parasol? And he pulls out a bright pink parasol from behind him. Looks over and says, "Yeah, this actually appeared in my office last night, and I wasn't quite sure." And he trips immediately, and the parasol goes flying at you. Make me a reflex check.
I actually thought he would have found it in the ocean or something.
Do we all have to make a reflex save, or just
No, it's going right for Velmir.
Alright. I was looking at the spells. Alright. Reflex.
Oh boy.
No.
You get hit. So this parasol hits you right in the neck for 5 damage.
Ouch.
It hits you right in the Adam's apple, and so you're choking a bit too, and it freaking sucks. And now the parasol's just sitting on the ground in front of you.
And a lay on hand.
Farens gets up immediately and says, I am so sorry, and he brushes himself off. Looks are you okay?
I think
this is not the worst. It has done to fire.
He'll be okay soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely okay.
Yep.
Alright. So anything else interesting you'd like to do today?
No. Yeah, and I think we should ask, Is there any way you can get rid of, make that parasol not? Is there any way you can get rid of the curse on that parasol?
Yeah.
Well, I can try to dispel magic effect here. So hold on, and he kind of leans back a little and casts some magic at it.
I go away quickly.
And it the parasol shakes violently, and Farens is actually thrown back into his desk. He stands up and brushes himself off and says, "I suppose not."
Figure.
They had to remove the anti-magic little, the anti-magic nail in that post.
How? Why would somebody make something so resilient and so petty?
Well, how did you get the parasol again?
Traveling wizard merchant. He vanished very quickly after I literally vanished. So I have no idea who he is or what he is or anything. It has been stuck with me for a long time. The problem is it's still a useful item, but it's still so goddamn ugly. I can't stand it.
It is very, very pink.
Can't get rid of the thing. It's the only issue.
And
I reluctantly put it back in
the bag or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking a like leather sling or something on the below the back,
Gotcha.
the backpack tag and stick it in.
Another day passes, and Farens informs you all that he scryed Zrydan again this morning, and he didn't manage to find anything of interest. It seems like Zrydan's still aboard his ship. And I imagine the training continues. Another day passes.
Training montage.
And this keeps going on. 5 days later, it's still going. Farens keeps saying that, sure enough, Zrydan has not left his ship.
Which is unusual. Maybe he's taking the long sailing path.
I'm starting to find it weird that he's just making us stay here, not doing much for this long.
I mean, we're training.
We're doing a big montage. It takes a while.
But the question is, what does Farens intend to do once we find the guy?
And I mean, you tell yourself, like, the training is just kind of basic fighting that y'all already know how to do.
I mean, counterspelling would be useful, but
I think we're being led to stay here.
no, you could just ask him what the plan is. Like, I think that hasn't actually told us the plan.
Yeah.
So, who goes to talk to him?
I do.
I'll follow.
You walk into his office, and he looks up and says, yes, how can I help you, Don?
Yeah, was just wondering, how long are we gonna stay? Like, what's the plan for?
I've been working on a few things. I'm simply waiting for Zrydan to actually stop somewhere, stop at a city or maybe some sort of base that he might have, etc.
So just find some landmark.
Exactly. Once we can actually find out where he is, then I suspect that I should be able to have my plan come into action.
What is that plan then? Just curious, if we know we could prepare for it, be more prepared to deal with it.
Well, what I was roughly planning was to have Duck go with you all and head to the location, and ideally find a way to catch him off guard. There are many spells from my repertoire that may be able to assist with that matter, including some spells such as Alter Self that allow you guys to sneak aboard and potentially take him off guard then.
Well, I've been wondering, we wouldn't necessarily have to stay down here, we could just leave, take the 2 artifacts that we have with us somewhere else, like...
Oh, no. Right here is certainly the safest place.
But sir, like, right now, we don't see where we are, we know about he's about on the sea. I think it'd be more efficient to at least let me go and fly around and look for him through the air. I'll have a much greater sense of where he is quicker than the very thin spotlight we have on him right now.
Exactly,
you are certainly safest right here, I promise you.
I'm not talking about safety, I'm talking about we do have something dangerous going on out there.
And yeah, we basically want to, you know, do something.
And if I'm I'm gonna be flying around, I cannot be scried. I'm not really going to be in any danger.
Has anybody used spell shock on these brooches yet?
No, but I think I will after we're done with this conversation.
Alright.
I think this out of character.
Yeah, so...
Look, there's no telling what could happen to you out there. You might get captured by him, and he may be able to extract the information from your mind via various spells that read thoughts, or simply torture the information out of you in a standard.
Then someone will come with me, so that, you know what, if I'm captured, they can off me, whatever. Like, we need to get this done.
I implore you, patience. There will come the time.
This is my issue. It takes about a day to go from Riddle Tor to the Ring of Fire. And now this guy has been sailing on the sea for like 4 days. There's nothing around the whole continent. Like, either he's going so far away that he's never gonna come back, or...
I mean, he has to find out that... he has to actually find the island first, and he hasn't seen it, but, you know...
it's like a day to go to each of them.
I probably should have gone there, because I would have made the alternate point of he might have sailed straight from Anna up there, and that's quite a distance.
And yeah, because it was in Orna. Also, wasn't the ship flying ship, so he might be, you know, flying above the mainland looking for dock.
I think it was very specifically on the sea.
Was it? I forget.
Yeah, from kind of the edges of the scrying the first time you were there and actually watched the scrying, you saw that there were like splashes of seawater coming. Look, gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you. I promise you patience will be rewarded. Is there anything that I can do to make you more comfortable with the idea of just being patient?
Actually, that makes me wonder if he's going to be all the way up to the Bloodless Island. How do we know that he's still there if we go there from all the way here? Even if we find out that he's there, we'll be gone when we get there.
I have very quick means to transport us. We could get there within probably 24 to 48 hours, and that should be enough for us to get there and at least pick up his trail very easily.
Wait, wouldn't it make more sense than go there because we have reasonable reason to think he will go there and wait for him?
I'm gonna enter. Head up there, noticing they've got up and have been up there a while, so you know, head into the office as well.
Okay, so you're there too. At this point, he's actually getting kind of mad at you guys. He says, "Look, heading out of here is possibly a ticket to complete disaster, and I simply can't afford that."
What? I mean,
you have to understand Nava's getting bored. She, whatever, doesn't like being stuck under a dome on the ceiling.
I do understand. But at the same time, there is no safer place at this time.
Come Nava, we can play a bit of Siege Ball. It's about past the time. Wink, wink,
Can't
nudge,
go
nudge.
too far away because it'll... No, this... More...
Let's get
Yeah,
out
this-
and...
Just out of character, do we have a sense of how deep we are?
You have a lot of difficulty telling. You do see that the sky, or the sky as it were, does brighten up a little bit during the day, so you can tell that you are definitely out from underneath the cavern system, and you're out in open ocean. But it's a little darker than you've seen, so you're guessing you're pretty far deep.
Because, like, as we walk out, once we're, like, outside of earshot, I'm gonna whisper to Don my thoughts that I'm considering summoning a sea animal and getting out of here that way.
Well, I've just rolled sense motive. Let's see if I actually trust what Farens said.
Yeah, you don't notice anything unusual. Like, it seems like he's staying consistent. He got mad at you there, but you were also pushing him, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, so he's probably just paranoid.
I don't know. I mean, just
Was that including the +5 from your artifact? From your moniker?
Oh yeah, I forgot to add that. Yes.
Okay, so if that's the case, if you forgot to add that, then
Yeah,
you're pretty sure he's lying. You're pretty sure that because you haven't seen the scrying at all, you think that there's something up. You're not even sure he is scrying.
Oh, I'm gonna ask him. Hey, how about sitting in for the next scrying session you do?
He kind of bolts up from his desk, like just his head. He doesn't stand up, but he like looks up at you with a start and says, "Sure, we could absolutely have you sit in for the next scry. I don't see what the purpose would be, but certainly, maybe there's something that you recognize. There's no telling what information."
I've got a little bit of knowledge on local stuff. I'm surprised that I've studied a little bit more since I was freed.
Yeah, sure. We can have you sit in for the next scrying session. Sure.
I'm curious about scrying. I'm not really experienced in all that magic stuff. I clean a bit my monocle. How does this spell work? Like,
you guys already left the place.
Right, yeah.
I imagine you can walk back in.
Yeah, but
so you are casting Zone of Truth on him, so he gets a will save. He nat 20'd that. And he's like, what did you cast on me? It didn't work, but what did you cast on me? What is that?
Well,
he cast Detect Magic.
I just cleaned my monocle. What?
And it's a monocle enchanted with Zone of Truth. Okay. You don't trust me, I see. Look, just come to the scrying tomorrow morning. Look, I promise you, I understand your frustrations, but I really am trying to do what's best for the entirety of us.
I'm coming to the scrying tomorrow. So you kind of didn't have to do that, Valmir, but hey.
What? I didn't do anything. I'm not even there.
Don.
What?
Ow, my head hurts. Hold on. I'm not great with names. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't worry too much about it. So, has anybody gone like outside the city at all?
That's what I'm.
I did the first day, but
after our conversation, I'm gonna go to hangar, suit up, and go in the path that goes towards the coral garden.
All right. Yeah, you head to the coral garden. It's a beautiful little garden of coral.
So before I do that, like I dismiss Pineapple, and I'm gonna use my summon monster ability to summon a friendly shark.
All right, you have a friendly shark at your disposal.
I wanted it to try and go to the surface and back, and how long it takes.
All right, so it starts swimming upward, and after a little bit, you hear a loud siren coming from inside the base.
I'm going to facepalm because I forgot to mention, and because I forgot to mention there was an alarm spell.
Well, that's still happening.
It's still happening. You see a couple of the golems putting on some sort of like protective suit. They're not putting on like the same kind of suit that you guys have, but you see them in the hangar, like getting themselves assembled for underwater. And by the time they actually come out, your shark has come back. You're probably about 150 feet up.
All right, that means I can get out of here.
I'm going to facepalm and say, "Oh great! I forgot to tell the summoner that my party members that there's an alarm spell."
Right. So once my shark is back, I'm gonna dismiss it, thank it for its service, and I'm gonna run back in the hangar and try to be surprised about what's going on about the alarm. Like, what's going on here?
The golems basically step out the door and you're walking back, and they kind of gesture for you to come back in. There's an awkward pause in the airlock as all the water drains, and you step back into Maridia, and Farens is there, like standing right there. He's like, "What just happened?"
Oh, so look, I was checking out the coral garden. I got bored. I told you I'm bored. I made a friend to play with, and accidentally, I guess, I don't know, at some point, lights started to blare. I made my friend come back, I dismissed him, and I wanted to come in and check out what's happening. Like, I got kind of startled here.
Roll me a bluff check.
On it.
Kind of looks you up and down, and his eyes squint. Maybe you're best off staying inside the dome for now.
I agree.
That he heads back to his office.
See, I'm not gonna do that right now, because that just gets me out. And I got a few other people here that, kind of grew attached to over time. I can only summon one shark, I think. Yeah. Unless one wants to ride a squid. So I could summon more than one. These are a thing I'm thinking about.
Does anybody else want to do anything this day?
I'll probably
basic cupping spells.
facepalm at Nava, and after that, I'll head outside to enjoy the coral garden some more and try and catch a look.
You don't know it's me. I mean, you can safely assume, but.
So you head out to the coral gardens. Are you gonna do anything while you're out there?
Looking about, maybe try to catch a view of the Kraken.
Alright, yeah, roll me a perception check.
Just... Okay.
Alright. And with that, you actually managed to catch a glimpse of the Kraken. You're kind of walking around the edge of probably where you're suspecting the alarm barrier is. It seems to probably double the radius of the bubble. And as you're walking around, you actually see, off in the distance, a big old Kraken. There's a picture of it. Roll 20. And it's big, and it's mean, and it's basically to scale in this photo. But because you rolled so high, that is not the only thing you notice.
Sweet.
You also notice as you're wandering around, the Kraken doesn't seem to pay you any mind, but as you're kind of wandering around the edge of this barrier and kind of looking at the Kraken, you notice also off in the distance, outside the alarm barrier, you see an obelisk.
Oh!
Torment.
By obelisk, I'm presuming the same ones that we found before.
It looks exactly like this.
Yep. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say, hey, that's a nice discovery. We just need to wait for the full moon.
It's been what? Since we won there, around...
You've got about a week
weeks?
until the next full moon.
Yeah. My mind math is correct.
Well, I'm gonna kind of keep that to myself, but I am going to go with the scrying bit tomorrow, and that's the stuff. I'm gonna head back in and go train some more.
All right. So you head up. So you spend the rest of your day normally, and then go to bed, wake up the next morning, and everybody is in Farron's office for the scrying.
At night, I want to do something.
All right. What did you do in the night?
I'm leaving the brooch I was given on the bed I sleep in, and I want to head towards the hangar.
Okay. So.
Well,
did you cast detect magic on those earlier?
Nope.
You should.
I'm afraid it'll trigger something.
Well, you should roll a spellcraft check at least, or Velmir, sure.
That involves detect magic.
Yeah, I need to cast. Yeah, and I'm not taking that chance.
That's fair.
I'm looking through his spell list. What could he do that would, like, doing the scrying, quote unquote?
I mean, I don't know. Dude, the echo's getting real hard. I'm
Teraunce,
thinking...
could you turn down the threshold?
There's actually nothing.
Push to talk.
Someone say something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really strong.
That's really, really strange.
Turn on fucking push to talk.
I just turned the volume down on my headphones, but I'm wearing headphones. So.
Okay.
What do you have against push to talk?
Oh! Am I? Okay, I'm still in Discord. Push to talk is very hard. I will forget. Constantly.
I mean, because you can hear it, you can't hear how terrible the echoing is, but it got, we couldn't speak because we were burying ourselves.
Luckily, I think it's mostly fixed now. So, yeah. So Nava, you kind of drop off your. Oh, echoes back.
Is it still there?
Yep.
Testing. It seems. I'm guessing that it's close to fixed.
Because when he said testing, there was no echo, but afterwards there were.
Because every time it's going off, it's because I'm crinkling a bag of chips. Or, well, every time it's saying I'm going live.
All right. Well, no, that's definitely some echoed. That just stopped. Okay.
All right.
As usual, it's oddly irregular.
Yeah.
All right. So, echo. No. Nava. You drop off your brooch.
Yep.
And you head to the hangar. All right. You are in the hangar.
Yeah. I suit up, so I'm gonna go to the garden.
All right. The golems are watching you. They're at the same station they usually are.
I expect that. I wave them hello, even though I know they won't react.
And they don't react.
So I gonna go on the outer side of the coral garden that is well within our area.
Yep.
And gonna summon a shark and ride it out of here.
All right. So you're just gonna go.
Yep.
All right. So you just go and you trigger the alarm very quickly.
I expected as such.
Are you heading straight up, or are you heading just horizontally out? Like, what are you trying to do?
Diagonally.
Okay. So not straight up, but up anyways.
Yes.
All right. So you're heading out and riding the hell out of this shark, getting the hell out of Dodge. So you're riding up to the surface, and you brake on the surface, and you actually see that you are. You kind of see off in the distance the distinctive structures along the coast of the city of Orna. So
Okay.
you're probably maybe a mile from shore.
I'm gonna. Okay. I hope that 1 minute is enough because I'd summon Pineapple and I get out of here through the air.
All right, you take off. Like, it's really hard to do the summoning ritual while like treading water, but you do. And you hop aboard Pineapple and you take off for land.
And I'll fly to Orna. Like, I'm not landing. Like, I'm doing the whole bit in the air because I think it's faster than that.
And
so you make it back to the city of Orna.
Yep. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my wagon, and I'm going to head back to Daventry. I want to speak with Biggerton as quick as possible.
All right, so you just bail on your party and head north. All right.
I hope that the fact that I left my brooch very openly on my bed tells the message of what I'm doing.
All right. So yeah, you head up. You managed to get your cart back from the inn. They were kind of confused as to why this cart just got left here, but they managed to keep hold of it.
I give them a tip for keeping it. Even though it was
They
unexpected.
thank you profusely, and like we're just very glad that this cart made it back to its owners properly. And then you take off.
Taking the northern route.
All right. Okay, so let's cut back to the world map then.
I'm going to facepalm.
So, are you heading? So the northern route. So you're cutting up to Riddleport then.
I'm actually surprised you're going on your own.
I can't bring anyone with me, and I don't trust being able to actually speak to anyone. Because dude is a very powerful wizard.
Very powerful wizard traps you in his underwater base. What do?
I summon a shark and I get out of here.
I mean, we could.
Everyone is a traitor. Kill everyone.
You don't trust the paladin. That makes me sad.
It's
Th-
not that I don't trust you. It's that
This
I
is
don't
not.
trust
This
being
is.
able to
This is not the game Paranoia.
All right. So yeah, you just head off, and your journey is pretty uneventful. But while that's going on, obviously things are still happening underwater. So let's.
Oh yeah, I'm aware that you're cutting me off of the main narrative. I accept that.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say that nothing particularly exciting is gonna happen if you're just going to Daventry. It is going to take you 5 days to get there.
Fair.
I'm rolling to see if I notice if that Nava is gone.
Yeah, I mean, you could roll.
Everybody notices Nava is gone because that night after the alarm goes off, Farens comes out and he's basically searching everywhere for all of you. He gets tabs on all of you, and then looks furiously for Nava and can't find her, and he's just.
And I'm
He's
facepalm.
freaking out. He is visibly shaking, and he's like, did that summoner take the artifact?
Told you, man. Sylphs did it all.
I have the pouch of many ingredients on my person.
What's up, Teraunce?
He has it.
Am I going live? Barely. Okay, I need to.
You're cutting out a lot now. I know it's a fine line to walk between echoing and cutting out. But if that line could be fixed, that'd be great.
I said I'm gonna tell him I have the pouch of many things on my person.
Okay, well, that's.
Or the.
But Nava knows where this base is, if Nava gets captured, that could be the end of him. No, this is not good. This is not good at all. You all go back to bed. I will think of something. Actually, wait. Do any of you have any possessions of Nava?
Nope, not really. As far as M's go, maybe Nava left her, whatever's, their brooch on, or something like that, something like...
on the ledge.
Oh, never mind. Maybe they left something at the, in their room.
I'll go check. You head off to your beds. Alright. So I need to pull up the scrying spell and see exactly what you need to roll on your will save here, Nava.
Alright. So I do a will save.
Yep.
You look my things. I guess Shield Ally applies. There's no reason why it wouldn't. It's weird.
I'm gonna ask Felmer, hey, can you see if these brooches are actually anti-scrying or not?
I'll give it a try.
You resist the scry, actually. So...
And the didn't.
Oh. Felmer was just trying to see if they were anti-scrying brooches or not.
I think you can kind of explain it by the fact that the wizard doesn't expect it, while I kind of do. So I just kind of try to, even though I don't know if that's a thing you can do, to just kind of try to will thing like a scrying out. I guess that's kind of like what's happening, because I'm kind of expecting it, I guess.
Yeah, that is kind of what happened. Yeah, and as for the spellcraft check, that's not enough to figure out exactly what magic is under these things, but it is magic. You can try again tomorrow. So the next morning, you guys actually head to the morning scry, and Farens doesn't look like he got any sleep last night.
Before we even head there, I'm gonna.
Yeah, these are literally just anti-scrying, which is there's nothing special about them.
Okay.
I couldn't take a chance.
Raocow's a need.
So you guys head to the morning scry. You're all gathered around Farens, who looks absolutely exhausted and shaking and like terrified. And he's putting together the scrying ritual, and it's going a little slower than usual. He's not like doing great right now, but he does manage to do a full scry, and he does so on Zrydan. And what you see is not Zrydan on a ship. What you see is Zrydan, he's at a table in a relatively clean room that looks like it's in like a wooden cabin or something based on the architecture. And he's actually got a font of water next to him, which is presumably for scrying. And a skeleton actually comes by and drops a tray with a sandwich on it by his side before they...
Classy.
He's looking frustrated at a world map. Farens looks up at you and says, "Oh, I guess he made landfall somewhere. Do any of you recognize where that is?"
Unfortunately, not.
Anything that could identify where it is, solely the inside.
You only see the inside of a building.
No.
But nowhere we've been to, I'm guessing. No, otherwise we would have been told it's...
So, you actually see the scrying is continuing, and Zrydan actually walks over to a tea kettle and pours himself a cup of tea, and then takes a sandwich. And then he's still kind of grumpy, but he steps outside. And it appears to be like a nice porch with a rocking chair on it that he sits in. And he begins sipping his tea and eating his sandwich. And it's not too hard to tell that, even though you can only see in a 10-foot radius from him, that this is basically a beach house. He's definitely on the coast somewhere. And it's
Is he a wizard of the coast?
bad
By
pun.
technicality,
Wrong game system, I know.
it's very funny. Yeah. But yes, by technicalities, right, and is currently a wizard of the coast. Farens turns to you and says, "Well, what about now? Do you recognize where this is now?"
Unfortunately, I'm not very familiar with the beaches of,
Velmir?
No. Can't say I do.
Actually, Vilmer, roll me knowledge geography.
I don't think Bummer has knowledge geography.
Nope.
Nope.
I don't, but...
I think he thinks it's somewhere on the west coast.
It's on a coast, alright.
I mean, I can roll an untrained
Sure
one
is
as well,
on the coast.
but, I'm gonna roll one as well, and that's the best I could get, so yay!
Nah, you don't get it either.
Can we use, like, the shadows, his shadow, to triangulate the position of the sun, which we can use to triangulate his own position?
Roll me a survival check, because that's basically what that would be, is determining direction.
Oh boy.
Alright, so, yeah, you don't know.
And heroes are just being clever.
He could be anywhere for all we know, honestly. We never seen that beach before.
No, I feel like the more important thing at this time is tracking down Nava and making sure that Nava is okay and not captured in some capacity. This is important. We should. I need to take a nap. You gentlemen enjoy the rest of your day. I desperately need to.
Yeah, get some sleep, Farens. I'm pretty sure Nava might head up to Daventry, possibly. I think Nava's got. Nava's got a relative who owns a magic shop up there in Daventry.
Daventry, that's quite a ways away, but.
And that's where Bakerton is as well.
I'll worry about it in the morning. Then he kind of wanders out of his office.
And let's say, well, no, he's out. If worse, making sure he's out of earshot and that stuff. Close the door to the office and say, if worse comes to worst, there is an obelisk within walking distance outside.
You mean one of some full moon obelisks?
Yes.
That's one hell of a place to put one.
Uh-huh.
How long do you think is it till the next full moon? Like
A few days.
yeah,
But, yeah, probably about a week.
makes sense. If nothing happens by then, we might as well.
I mean, yeah. Hey.
That's how the party gets back together. We just quick travel to Daventry.
Yep, we're using the Monkey Monk Monastery travel system.
But trademark pending.
The monkey story.
Alright, so a day passes. Travel for Nava is continuing as usual. And a few more days pass unless anybody want to do something immediately. And
Did Farens have any luck finding Nava, or?
I'm gonna actually need Nava to make one more save check against scrying. Yeah, Nava succeeds in resisting this scrying. Nava is pretty on top of it. It probably helps that he didn't actually have any materials that you owned. And
Well-
he only knew you a little bit.
Technically he gave Nava a brooch, which technically makes
it
it.
really a possession. Was
No,
just like
it
something-
wasn't truly Nava's possession.
It wasn't too short of a time.
Speaking of which, try that spellcraft again.
So time kind of gets blurry for Farens because he is sleeping very little. Like even though he said that he was going to sleep early that day, he kind of just ended up staring at the ceiling all night. he's basically not sleeping, and he's struggling to focus enough to actually perform scries. So 5 days come and go, and you guys know that tonight's gonna be the night of the full moon.
You should really learn the keep spell. I'm not gonna tell him that, but I think he should.
A watch spell or something like that? Yeah.
Keep watch. So you never have to sleep again, basically. As long as you just keep parrying it.
I know keep watch, yeah.
Wait, you know?
I've probably been using it now to get the spell copying done faster.
Alright, yeah, that's totally cool. So you've copied, basically, I'm gonna say you copied all of his level 1, 2, and 3 spells.
Man.
Those were like fewest.
Like
I didn't already know.
I can just I do have keep watch on my spell known list. I could just cast it on Teraunce if he's suffering from
I think keep watch is a cast on yourself spell only.
It's touched.
Oh, yeah, then you could cast it done.
Just need to find a...
Hey, I want to begin with the higher level stuff. Well, there are 6 spells.
You want to start with the higher levels of spells. Okay.
Yeah. So there are in total 6 spells in 4th, 5th, and 6th level that I did know.
Gotcha.
Those 6 are like easy. Yeah, easily done in the time.
Yeah. Alright. Well,
what does keep watch do anyways?
just makes it so you don't have to sleep, and you still get all the bonus, like as long as you don't do anything intensive, you basically still get all the benefits of sleeping, even though you're not sleeping.
As well, the resting part, at least you can't use the dream spell while using that, you know.
That's true.
So, do we stick around here or do we leave? Here it's actually pretty safe and that sort of stuff.
It is,
but we're not getting anywhere.
And to be quite honest, Nava is on their own out there, and it's quite possible that, you know, something might happen to them.
I mean, we could tell Farens about the obelisk.
No, I think he would just destroy it. He'd just destroy it, probably, yes. Let's not.
Though he should be aware of it, since he spent 30 years down here building this. He should already know about it.
Well, he's probably seen it, but he doesn't know what it do. I mean, but it does. Yeah. I mean, there's been one in Riddleford, and they just took it down.
Fair enough.
I just don't feel that's right to just vanish on him.
We could leave a note.
Actually, a good idea. Or I don't know.
Dear parents, I'm afraid it doesn't work out between the two of us.
I mean,
we'll have to break up.
I mean, to be fair, the obelisk is so far out of there, out there, that I'm not sure many people could actually survive using the obelisk to get back here. It's basically a one-way.
I mean, there are spells, and if you know that it's in the water.
With preparation, it's easily done. If you have magicians and whatnot.
But that requires a few things. One, to know the monk monastery actually exists, which it's apparently almost unknown. Second, to know that specifically to ask for that obelisk, which, again, they might not even remember it exists.
Likely, but it's still not impossible.
Yeah, remember, Teraunce is paranoid.
Yeah, he's seriously paranoid. Disturbingly so.
I mean, we should at least keep the bridges in grab one for Nava as well when we see him. Because anti-scrying is very useful.
Yeah, since I could confirm that they are just scrying.
How convenient that the guy with scrying spells that we don't trust gave us items that prevent scrying.
Yep.
So, should we leave him a note?
But if one of you writes it, I'm not gonna bother.
Or should we bring Doc along? That's a better question. Like he might want to see that dragon, and we could just, you know.
Yeah, but like Farens said, he is connected to him now, so he has his character trait. And that
True.
I don't know. And is the connection two-way? I wonder if they could like maybe telepathically communicate or something.
Maybe.
It's not impossible. This is some advanced stuff he's been doing with that.
It
I
is.
think Doc will be fine. He's got company down there.
Yeah.
Let's hope the Monkey Monk Monastery don't mind us crashing their party again.
Yep.
Hopefully they won't. Say we had reasons to and that sort of stuff.
I hope the teleporting fog comes before all the goblins come after us when the alarm goes.
What you should do is just, Rager should write a note telling Teraunce that we got bored and we're just gonna take a walk outside to see the Kraken and a bit on the water. So, you know, just so he thinks we're gonna come back. But he doesn't get too worried and tries to look after us, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, that works. Actually, should take 2 brooches. Second one for pineapple. Maybe. What happens if you?
How does pineapple wear a brooch?
You put it on a piece of string and hang it around its neck.
Or
Neck.
Torso,
Wait.
whatever you call that.
Make a specially fit harness just to have a pin put on it.
I mean,
Just pin it on the pineapple. It's piercing.
Would hurt, wouldn't it?
yes.
Depending on the anatomy of a flying birdfish pineapple.
I mean, it changes shape whenever it evolves, you know, so maybe it just got a pinhole somewhere.
Level up. I'm just gonna add a little lump of flesh with no nerve ending, so you can just put a pin in it. Ew.
I was more thinking like a scarf or something.
That makes too much sense.
Put the brooch on the scarf and just wrap it around Pineapple's neck. And tie it gently.
Or you could put it on a bit of a bracelet and then hang it around its feet.
That's true.
I mean, I don't know if Pineapple's scribble or not. Possibly. Given Pineapple has its own mind. I think. Don't Eidolons have their own minds?
Is there anything you can't scribe, really?
Unless it's creature.
By magic,
It just specifies creature, so pineapple would qualify.
So, yeah, I suppose write a note and I'll sneak over and try and grab a couple more brooches from the box in the inn.
Alright, yeah, just roll me a basic stealth check. This isn't too hard because nobody's expecting you to go and steal something.
And I've got a plus 16. And still I only got a 20.
I mean, that's enough. So, grab a few.
Yes, I have a plus 16 to stealth.
Okay.
Modifiers are crazy for small characters.
I could have a plus 17, but I apparently was confusing things and I had a couple too many skill points.
Yeah, so you swing in there and you snag a few, and
yeah,
and you got a couple extra brooches.
And well, we might as well head on out. If we're heading out now, we might as well head on out. Wear the suits. Also, yeah, I'm gonna write a note on common or something like that. Probably leave it on the bar, so it gets found. Possibly. Basically saying, yep, we went out for a walk and that sort of stuff. And
oh, so you're not even telling the truth. You're just like, we went out for a walk.
Yep.
So much for leaving a note. Okay. So,
yep.
You guys head on out and you walk on toward the obelisk. And I assume you wait until close to midnight because that's when you're
should you guys, I know they're take his artifact? Is that something that's possible to do?
I've been thinking about it, but then again, we were trying to keep the artifacts apart, and it is effectively kind of safe down there.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, well, we assume Farron's not gonna give it to anyone. So
yeah, but if he is in cahoots with Pirate Wizard Man,
if it wasn't cahoots, he'd have he'd tried to do something to us already.
Well, or he's just trapping us here forever.
Forever. In that case, he's doing a very poor job of that, considering how easy you got away.
I think he just wasn't expecting anyone to try.
He didn't know there was a secret teleporting spot right next door.
So, yeah, wait till close to midnight or whatever. That's just stuff for suiting up and.
Yep. All right. Well, yep. So you guys leave the note. You grab a couple of brooches. You head on out, and you wait until roughly midnight, and you head on out, and you guys just gun for it or what?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys just swim for that obelisk. Ruggill leads the way, and you guys make it there. And the alarm has certainly gone off, and just the golems have managed to put on their suits and have stepped out into the water and have started swimming towards you. That's when the water gets very cloudy, condenses around you, and then suddenly you're not underwater anymore. What's around you is just fog, and that dissipates, and you're back at Lakshisan. This time you're at a particular cul-de-sac, kind of, which is where you guys teleport in and out. And this one actually seems to be covered with a lot of cobwebs, basically. This is not a terribly well-used obelisk.
I can imagine.
And while you guys are readjusting to being there, let's cut back to Nava, because Nava just made it to Daventry this time.
I'm making a beeline to Biggerton's cave home.
Alright, so yeah, it's probably like 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and around the time when you get there. But you do manage to make it back, and you cut through the spooky, creepy catacombs, and you make it down to the bottom, and you see Bakerton as a skeleton lying in his sarcophagus, and as you approach, he kind of sits up. It's like, oh, it's you. What are you doing back here already?
So,
is it just you?
A mixture. It's just I've got a mixture of news. Good news, Doc is gonna be okay.
That's fantastic news. That sounds to me like you managed to track down Farens then.
Bad news. Can you, Teraunce the Echo? Bad news, for some reason, Farron is keeping us trapped in an underwater cage.
But you're here.
I escaped.
Okay. Oh no, Farron's, what are you doing? Why? Why is he doing that?
So, for a while, he told us he's been tracking the wizard that's also going after the artifact. I have no idea if this is true or not. But he's just been repeating the same message about the pirate being in the high seas, which to me seems completely illogical.
Alright. So... God, what can I do to help you?
I mean, you're literally the most powerful wizard I know, and I'll never know. I was hoping you would know if there's anything we can do about this mess. Because right now, I mean, the good news is that his item is underwater right now, but I have no idea what are his intentions.
You keep saying underwater, like
the city underwater.
He built the city underwater?
He said he built it.
That's rad!
Yes.
Dear Lord, okay, once this mess is all over, I need him to come back up here before I turn back into dust. I would love to chat with him, see what he's been up to all these years, but it sounds like he's being paranoid as hell.
Yeah, I have no idea if my party mates are still there or not. I did not.
Did you tell them that you were here?
I just couldn't know if he was listening in. Like, you know very well, he's an extremely powerful wizard. Anything I could do could have gone recorded. I could not have
boy. Oh boy. Farens, what have you gotten yourself into? Alright, okay. I don't know what I can do for you at this point. I'm stuck here. My magic is not nearly as strong as it used to be. If you can think of something for me to do, then by all means I will be more than happy to assist. Clearly what Farens is doing is dumb. Yes. But there's probably very little I can do. Maybe I could write another note for you, and then you could bring that to him. Like, I'm kind of out of ideas, though.
It's not a bad idea. It's something I definitely could do.
Alright, well, let me write up a letter real quick. You got a pen and some paper on you?
If I don't, I'll get some from town, so let's just skip that.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that you have some. Alright. So then he begins scribbling down a note, and it's full of a lot of expletives, and calling Farens an idiot, and he signs it, and he seals the letter and hands it to you and says, "Alright, go crack some sense into that man's thick skull."
Alright.
With a hammer.
So what I'll do is I'll take the message, I'll get right back on the road, and when I sense that daily scry coming, I'll bring the message out so that Farren can see it.
Ooh, all right. Roll me a scry will save, unless you just want to.
I'll let him
allow it.
All right. I just once I sense it or whatever, I just let him in so that he can see me and he can see the message.
Interesting. I love this. All right. But obviously that's not going to be until the morning. So in the meantime, yeah. So let's cut to everybody else. You guys are in Lakshisa.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I'm slightly sad that I haven't learned their language.
I'm going to try and make for the main path through the cobwebs.
All right. Yeah, you head down the path, and sure enough, it's the exact same monastery you remember. Let me see. Let me pull up the.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Is this it? I think this is it. Yeah. This is
yeah.
It. Same old monastery you remember. Super foggy, nighttime. Lots of monkey monks. And in fact, the Grand Master of the monastery, who greeted you last time, he sees that you're there and looks you up and down and says, "Not that I'm objecting to your presence here, but again?"
I mean,
Not unusual. Come on
now. We actually went through, apparently we came in through an obelisk that's not very well used because it's underwater.
You came from the one off the coast of Arnath, then?
Yes. That's why we got these suits on.
That doesn't make sense given the... What were you doing underwater by that obelisk on the full moon?
Long story.
Very, very long story, but short to the chase. There was a wizard who was being very, very paranoid and was just trying to keep him in his little small underwater city, and so we were trying to more or less escape. It was about a.
I'm glad that our obelisks were able to assist you in that matter.
I'm sorry for bugging you again. We're sorry for bugging you.
We're welcome to all guests. If you'd just like to spend the night here and
If it helps,
yourselves.
if it helps, can I at least help you by telling you that the obelisk you sent us out last time no longer exists. They built a shopping mall on top of it.
You're kidding.
Nope. We actually ended up in the basement to a workshop run by slavers who had enslaved kobolds.
This is
So
most unfortunate.
It got burned to the ground.
We don't tend to go to Riddleport terribly often. For good reason, I feel.
Yeah.
yeah,
Very good reason.
But we will make sure that knowledge is passed around of that matter.
Yep.
That's.
I was
unfortunate.
planning on telling you that everyone they eventually. I just didn't figure it would be that soon already.
It's certainly unusual. Anyways, I can lead you to some beds for tonight if you'd like.
Terribly kind.
And he leads you up to some beds. And you guys have a very lovely evening. Those beds are super duper comfy, although not quite as comfy as the ones back at Farron's Dome. They're not quite as opulent here either, though. So, the next morning comes, and sure enough, Nava, you feel a scry coming. And you don't resist it.
I don't resist it.
You just open up this note and, like, shove it to the sky. As you're traveling, and you're ready for this, and the scry lingers on you for a bit before fading. Probably about long enough to read the note.
Too bad no one's there to see what's gonna happen, but hey, at least you got them.
Well, if you had waited a little, longer, Railgo probably would have said it sooner that it was that there was an obelisk out there.
And it's the next morning for you guys at Luxury too. What do you guys do?
We're gonna ask if there's any obelisks near Daventry.
And the Grandmaster looks and says, "Oh, absolutely. Daventry is such a large city that we certainly have an obelisk nearby. It's up on one of the cliff sides nearby. If that's where you'd like to head, then we can certainly connect you that way."
That is where we would like to head.
Then follow me, please. And he leads you down one of the walkways. And this road actually seems pretty well used. And he says, "Please wait right there." And you guys step onto the platform, and the fog comes, surrounds you.
I'm still wondering why there's an obelisk off the coast. Are they expecting to get mer people?
Actually, would you have asked him that before you left?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Oh, well, our monastery has been around for quite some time. The sea levels are rising in that area. It didn't used to be underwater.
Well, good thing it still works underwater. The fog still appears.
Yes, it is certainly fortunate that it still works for your sakes in this case. And sure enough, fog comes, surrounds you, and then opens up again, and you're up on a cliffside overlooking the whole of the city of Daventry.
And well, we might as well. We might as well head to Flumpy's place, or what's the name of that?
Uncle Lumpy's Magical Goods.
I was close. Yeah, see.
This is the colloquial term.
Yeah.
Head on over. You head into town and head straight for Uncle Lumpy's magic goods.
See if Nava popped in.
Yes, sir.
And Uncle Lumpy sees you approaching and waves enthusiastically. He's very excited to see you back. And looks you up and down and says, "Hello there. Is Nava with you?"
We were wondering if you had seen him.
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
I haven't seen Nava since the last time I saw the lot of you.
Nava got kind of jumpy and left us, and we were hoping that they would have gone here. It's been like a few days, and we just took a fast path here, so we were hoping that they would only have arrived recently.
Well, I guess it's time to see our other contact in town. If he's not been here, but it's been nice chatting with you, Lumpy. Or
Yeah,
Mr.
Certainly, if you're not in a rush, then you're welcome to join us for dinner here. We're always friends of Nava's.
Yeah, we probably will when we shall after we check out that other place first.
I'm sure that Nava will get here if they're already in the area. So yeah.
Yep.
We're gonna come.
Alright, now do you head on over to the Evil Crusher estate?
No, I was gonna head over to Bakerton's.
Roll edge to find out if we run into each other on the road. Right, wrong system.
Wait, where are you heading now? Sorry, I didn't catch
Bakerton's.
Oh, you're heading to Bakerton. Oh, okay. Alright, so you head up to Bakerton's catacomb. And you head in. Bakerton looks actually very confused when he sees you all. He says, "Wait, aren't you all supposed to be trapped underwater somewhere?"
If Nava had waited about 2 hours or had have asked or anything going off on his own, there's a monastery that has obelisks all over the land or whatever, something like that.
Teleporting obelisk in the area.
Basically, the night of the full moon, they teleport you to the monastery, which only.
Alright, so you managed to teleport here. That's enough information for me. I don't
there,
care that much, honestly.
There was one outside of Farens underwater city. That was underwater.
Interesting.
So we
I see Nava has been here.
Nava was here. Nava, you just missed Nava. You missed Nava by about 8 hours.
Well,
I suspect Nava was heading back toward Orna, potentially to give the letter I just wrote to Teraunce.
Farens actually gave us all anti-scrying pins. I'm guessing Nava got very, very suspicious of the pin because Velmir over here checked and they are exactly what they say. They're anti-scrying pins, but Nava doesn't have his, and Farron's been trying to scry him. So, if Nava might have known that, so he might have let the scrying happen and showed the note that way.
Huh. Alright, well, in that case, I have no idea where Nava is. Good luck finding Nava.
Well, as I said, I'm gonna probably head towards Uncle Lumpy's.
I mean, if any of you are particularly good at tracking, you could probably track Nava.
I am riding a wagon with horses, like it's not.
I'm gonna roll survival.
We might as well head over to Uncle Lumpy's, but I'm gonna magical whatever place. Oh.
Okay then. Well, yeah, you actually see cart trails that you recognize immediately as road cart trails outside the catacombs. Somehow, you're just really good at it. Trust me, you rolled an @20. Nobody's question.
Maybe it was divine help without even asking.
But
Dogs are good at tracking.
I
That's
mean,
true. Does Shiva grant its followers bonuses to tracking?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I like it.
But in any case, I was going to say we should. I need to make a pit stop. I want to make sure that someone gets a copy of that thing, so that way they can at least have some people looking about here, in case the wizard shows up here.
If I ever lose track of the track, I could just use my speak with animals ability to ask some squirrels whenever I went.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how common selves are. So yeah, I was gonna head to the Evil Crusher state anyways before we went back to.
Speak with animals. I'm pretty discreet. Never mind.
Before we went back to Uncle Lumpy's for like dinner, at least, for going off on the road.
Yeah, so you head to the Evil Crusher estate, and yeah, you manage to you knock on Demeric's door, and his servant opens it up and says, "Ah, yes, Master Janchi, we shall get Master Evil Crusher for you immediately." He gestures for you to come inside and take a seat.
I do. I come inside and take a seat to, and wait.
Sure enough, Demeric comes down the stairs and says, Rogil, what are you doing here?
I just, we had a recent come here, we're trying to, track, my party and I were trying to track after one of our, members who kind of went off, on his own tangent up to here, and we're following him, trying to catch up to him. But
hold on. Actually, Rogil, you were the one that you did send me that message in my dream last night, right? I didn't think that you had any spellcasting ability. We were briefly staying with a wizard who cast a spell on me to let me send the message about. Interesting. Well, we've posted up that a good sketch of that all over town. So. Yeah, everybody's keeping an eye out for the necromancer.
That's good to hear. I was gonna say I have the original if you wanted it or needed it, or to make a fair copy.
Certainly couldn't hurt. It'd probably be better for making copies than an image from a dream.
Yeah. Okay. I pulled the sketch out and hand it over so I can make a copy. Or so.
All right. He takes and goes, "Thank you. We'll put this to use immediately."
He's rather dangerous and that sort of stuff, or at least he as mentioned, he apparently found out from the wizard he apparently attacked Hog with an army of undead about 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's right, and it was all over the news a few years back. I remember it.
He's
everybody in town is keeping an eye out for him. Now, what'd you come here today for?
Just to check in and give you that sketch and that sort of stuff. So
well, I'm touched. It's good to see you again, bro. Unfortunately, I've got a lot of stuff I got to do today.
I understand.
I'm pretty busy. You actually got me at a really good time, but I do need to get back to work.
Okay.
I'm. It's swing by. How about what are you doing Friday?
Probably going to be on the road on an adventure or trying to catch up with the party member, anyways.
Alright. Oh well.
Yeah.
Next time you're in town, for any period of time longer than 10 minutes, let me know. I'd love to have dinner with you.
Yeah. Again,
You take care of yourself, Rogil.
Yep, you too. And I'll see I wave goodbye and head out of the estate. Alright. And I don't know if the other party members followed me or not. So.
Probably not. I mean, we all know that we're going to meet up at Uncle Lumpy's later anyway. We were just going to assume that you had some relatives that you had to visit or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, so you guys have a delightful dinner with Uncle Lumpy. Nav, are you just continuing on the road back toward Orna?
I have no reason not to.
Alright. Cool.
You were back to Devonshire and you didn't visit your Uncle Lumpy. Sad.
I was thinking of you guys. Like that's
we're here. We found the lumpy. We out.
Well, at the risk of the party getting to avoid the risk of the party getting too split up, I think I'm gonna call the session for now.
Alright.
And then I'm gonna figure out a way to get you guys not split up anymore.
I mean,
Because you're in a state where none of you really want to be split up anymore. So I'll see what strings I can pull that don't feel like BS. And
I mean, there's the fact of, A, if we know where we're going, or if we can follow novice tracks and that sort of stuff, horses are and such not attached to a carriage can probably move a good bit faster than those attached to a carriage
Oh yeah, you
or
can
car.
totally outrun me. Like, no problem.
that's fair. That is definitely fair.
Right, I can do that.
But I'm still gonna call it for now. It was a fun session, guys. I'm pleased with how it turned out.
Oh, were you expecting us to leave through the monastery?
Yeah, so that was kind of the hook I was giving you guys out of there. I'm very intrigued that Nava just bailed.
The precedent has been set.
I was not expecting that, in all honesty. I was expecting you guys to bide your time and wait for the full moon, but I'm very happy with how this turned out. This is a lot of fun.
If Nava hadn't bailed, Rego probably would have only said anything on the at the day of the full moon.
Yeah, but Nava got to enjoy like a week outside instead of being cooped up under the water, and that's a net positive.
I'd agree with that.
And imagine Clarence now with how messed up he got only Nava leaving. Now we're all gone. It's gonna be completely ruined.
And he got insulted by his old buddy.
God damn it, Clarence! Don't be an idiot.
So, I gotta break some bad news. Next session, I'm gonna be out of town. Next in regular session time, so the 9th. I'm gonna be out of town. And then I'm also gonna be out of town the following time on the 20th.
Oh wow.
Could we move it to another day, possibly?
Not really, because raocow's entire weekends are packed with role-playing stuff.
Yeah, I have all the other groups going.
What about
And
during?
September is bonkers.
What about
Oh, yeah,
during?
that's,
What about
it's
during?
fun for me, to be honest.
Oh, I was gonna say, what about during a weekday or something?
Considering we got a lot of people in Europe, that's not good.
Yeah,
That's not
there's
terribly easy.
there's a lot
I've got
of
vacation.
time zones. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the easiest way is just say that our next session is going to be October 7th.
It's fine for me, to be honest, because next Friday I've got a game anyway, so I can go to that, then sleep through all Saturday.
Yeah, it's, wait,
All
sleep
right.
through the entirety? Okay, I mean, hey, more power to you. But yeah, I just think that there's no way around it, because I'm not even going to be anywhere near a computer. So,
Just write this down in the chat. October
yep. October 7th.
7.
We have a
is the next
schedule.
time session. I'm going to add it to the schedule. I understand it's a long time from now, so if something else comes up, let me know. Like, I understand it's super far away. Things come up. But ideally, we'll have most of us present on October 7th.
Although I'm not sure why Horikawa didn't make any say anything in the chat or anything. Pretty much the entire session.
Yeah, I mean, that's. I'm happy to have her here. Wish we heard a little bit more from her, but. Anyways, I hope that you guys had a good time. I'm going to add the next session to the calendar. And
I mean, like on the lead up, of course, like you'll post something.
oh, absolutely.
So yeah, you shouldn't be surprised by this.
Nope. But yeah, it is going to be quite some time. Pathfinder session 12. It's on the calendar.
Yeah, you were saying the other day how you were hoping to end for, I think, like to end today because of that big bump where you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. I gave up on that like a month ago. It just was like, yeah, there's no way I'm concluding this campaign in that time.
That's fair. We'll just have a big month-long break. That's fine. Hey, I'll get a Saturday every 2 days back to me.
For like a whole month. It's gonna be crazy. So, one more thing. I really don't like leveling people up 2 sessions in a row. But you did spend 2 weeks training.
So we're level 6 now?
You're level 6.
Okay.
Ooh boy. Oh boy.
Montage paid out.
Paladins don't get mount the spell. Why?
I was
I wanted to have the ability to summon like a large dog to ride.
I was just oh wait, you're a halfling, aren't you?
Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later.
Yep. Alright.
And well, I can take that I can take the other ninja trick that lets you all as long as you're moving less than half speed, I'll get my stealth bonus. Which is what? I mean, I have to use a move action to do it, but that's not really that bad each round or anything if we're just generally moving and not in combat. True? I mean, it might be a little less effective for Don because he's in heavy armor, but armor check. What?
What was you just said, Don? What?
I
was listening.
Oh, I was gonna say there's a ninja trick or whatever that if I use a move action, which doesn't really matter out of combat, so long as you guys move only up to half your speed, you get to use my stealth modifier.
Ooh.
Of course, modified by armor check penalty, if there's any.
Yeah, I've got like -5.
That's still a plus 12.
And I think armor check penalty is doubled for stealth, I think. Let me check.
I don't think
Also one of them skills has doubled armor check penalty.
I don't think it's stealth.
No. I've got net 0 modifier in stealth, so that's something.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so it's just -4. That's okay. Might have been in 3.5 edition. So, Nava has like 1 day of a head start. If you all start running fast, I don't. That's right. Let me ask in chat.
Right, let you move faster, and that's the stuff. And again, a horse probably moves slower with the carriage than it does by itself. And my character, if he's going to do that, is probably going to end up buying a riding dog.
I know that spurring a mount does require a skill check. It's gonna hurt the horse, but I can just heal it with my Leon hands.
I'm not expecting us to have to spur the horse to just move.
No, but I could like run ahead very fast towards Gobaska, assuming that. Oh, well, no. If I'm gonna track Nava, we would have to track Nava on the way. That's gonna be a bit dumb. I mean, if Horikawa shows up, it might be a little easier, since Horikawa might actually have survival. Passive aggressive much?
I mean, Horikawa could have said something. I mean, like, hey, she was there all along. But,
I'm gonna go and get some dinner going, so see y'all later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Help, I can't write any brackets in chat.
And thanks for watching all of the 0 people who watched.